Chapter 773. Bottomless Pit. Qin Yun and Jian Linglong look very calm, but they are incomparably happy in their hearts. Jian Shitian also feels this is unexpected because the first place is not someone from his Jian family. Moreover, Jian Linglong actually rushed to second place. It seems like even if Jian Linglong does not rely on Dao Lord Inscription Spirit, her level is still very high. She is stronger than many Dao Inscription Masters. Jian Shitian now somewhat regrets letting Jian Linglong leave. Third place is also a Jian family Dao Inscription Master. His face is stiff, he looks very unhappy. Because before the competition, he was the most optimistic Dao Inscription Master. Now, not only he failed to get first place, he was even defeated by a little girl from his family. Qin Yun obtained a sun rune and secretly despised it. He thought there would be several of them. Jian Linglong obtained a Dao rune and a moon rune, but is only one. They are all carved on a piece of bee skin. Little demon, I live in the Sword Immortal building. Come to my place tonight. I want to properly thank you. Moreover, you will be a lot safer with me. Jian Linglong very happily pulled Qin Yun's arm and then left the competition stage. After Xiao Yuemei saw this, she also quietly followed. Although Jian Linglong has a volcanic temperament, she is very beautiful. Moreover, she is a martial emperor and her clothes are very fiery. She is also the dream lover of many people. But now, Jian Linglong is actually together with a little demon. After Jian Linglong brought Qin Yun out of the huge cubic building, they boarded a flying shuttle. Just as they were about to take off, Qin Yun shouted, "Wait!" Xiao Yuemei is wearing a mask and ran over. Jian Linglong promptly opened the door and let the masked black-clothed man come in. She did not ask who he is. After Xiao Yuemei entered the flying shuttle, she took off her mask and revealed a charming and beautiful little face filled with smile. "Sister Linglong, it's me." Xiao Yuemei giggled and said. Xiao Yuemei often wandered around Immortal Weapon Palace before. She knows Bing Xing, so her relationship with Jian Linglong, Jian Ruyan, and Lu Jingming is very good. She even pretended to be an immortal inside Immortal Weapon Palace. "Yuemei, you little girl, you knew your brother came back. Why didn't you tell me earlier?" Jian Linglong lightly groaned, then smiled and pinched Xiao Yuemei's face. Jian Linglong controlled the flying shuttle and flew towards the Sword Immortal building not far away. "Because we have an important matter. Sister Linglong, how many crystal nucleus do you have?" Xiao Yuemei said, "I don't have much left. If it's not enough, I can go buy them." Jian Linglong said, "It is not easy to buy them now. Not to mention the high price, the quality is also very low." Xiao Yuemei is worried that Qin Yun will not be able to break through. Qin Yun said, "We'll talk about it when the time comes." Soon after, Jian Linglong and Qin Yun exchanged the runes they obtained. High-grade sun rune, not bad, but I wonder what kind of sun rune it is, Jian Linglong said with a frown. "But don't worry, the Sword Immortal Pavilion has quite a few sun runes, and every one of them is pretty good. That Dao pattern was also a moon pattern, and it was pretty good. Especially that Dao pattern, it was called the Xin Ascension Dao pattern. This Dao pattern could be used to create a formation that could help Xin martial realm martial artists increase their cultivation. That moon rune was the Essence Moon Rune, a moon rune that could condense the essence of the moon." Jian Linglong brought Qin Yun and Xiao Yuemei to her suite in the Sword Immortal Tower. The Sword Immortal Tower has more than 200 floors. Jian Linglong lives on the 180th floor. It is very luxurious and spacious inside. It is like a palace in the sky. There are many rooms and cultivation rooms. "Sister Linglong, how many purple crystal coins do you need to stay here every day?" Xiao Yuemei is running everywhere. Looking at the luxurious palace in the sky, she is extremely envious. "I don't want purple crystal coins. Although I left the Sword Immortal Pavilion, I have done meritorious service for the Sword Immortal Pavilion. After this Sword Immortal Tower is finished, I want half a floor," Jian Linglong said with a smile. Xiao Yuemei said, "I'll go bring Aunt and the others." Jian Linglong also knows Xiao Xianqin. They are quite familiar with her, because Xiao Xianqin often goes to the Immortal Weapon Palace to find Bing Xing. After Xiao Yuanmei, Qin Yun also told Jian Linglong about his joint cultivation with Xiao Xianqin and the others. Sun and Moon Heart Sutra? Sister Bing Xing also taught it to me. I have been wanting to find a man to try it out for a long time. Jian Linglong looked at Qin Yun and said with mischievous smile, Sister Linglong, during joint cultivation, we must trust each other. Qin Yun said somewhat anxiously. I trust you very much. Jian Linglong pinched Qin Yun's face. You little demon, you actually dare not trust me. How could that be? Qin Yun laughed, and then struggled free from Jian Linglong's hand. Not long after, Xiao Yuanmei also arrived with Zi Qingsheng and the others. Because Hu Jingxian has other matters, she did not come. But now Jian Linglong has also joined in. Qin Yun's cultivation situation is rather special. His nether sun Dao core needs to transform into Xian Dao core. The amount of resources consumed is many times that of others. Within a spacious secret room, Qin Yun, Xiao Yuanmei, and the other women are cultivating together. Crystal nucleus is piled up all around. Qin Yun is absorbing the energy from the crystal nucleus very quickly, so much so that the entire secret room is shrouded in dense star mist. Because Jian Linglong, a martial emperor, joined in, the energy Qin Yun released doubled and doubled after passing through the women's bodies. When it flowed back into Qin Yun's body, it can only be described as berserk. If Qin Yun did not cultivate immortal devil body, he would not be able to endure this kind of dreadful energy pouring into his body. Jian Linglong is the last one to receive the strengthened energy and then send it back into Qin Yun's body. She also knows that the energy after cultivation is very strong. Even she, a martial emperor, feels somewhat afraid. She is also worried that Qin Yun would not be able to endure it. But after a period of time, Qin Yun is completely fine. Jian Linglong also felt a lot relieved. Although Xiao Yuanmei and the others are doing their utmost to help Qin Yun break through, they also benefited greatly from this cultivation. It must be known that Qin Yun cultivated immortal devil body. When the energy he released flowed into the women's bodies, it also strengthened their bodies. This kind of cultivation allows everyone to benefit from it. Now Qin Yun also understands why his past life liked to hook up with Guanghan Palace's women. Because after obtaining the trust of Guanghan Palace's female disciples, they would cultivate together. This kind of speed is simply inconceivable. 3 days pass by. The crystal nucleus in the secret room has been completely consumed. Qin Yun does not dare to face these women because he still has not broken through. Brother, you are a bottomless pit. The amount of crystal nucleus you consumed is enough for 5 people to break through. Xiao Yuanmei also knows that Qin Yun has nether sun martial spirit, but she still finds it inconceivable. Xiao Xianqin said, This is a good thing. The more difficult it is to break through, it means that after breakthrough, the stronger one's strength will be. Qin Yun originally has 3 martial spirits, and they are all very strong martial spirits. It is normal for him to consume so much. I will go by crystal nucleus now, Jian Linglong said with smile. Qin Yun, you must become martial emperor as soon as possible. You're the only man who can cultivate Sun and Moon Heart Sutra with me. If I want to become half immortal, I can only rely on you. Because Jian Linglong is here, Shui Tianzi's flirtatious aura has been greatly restrained. But now she cannot help but caress Qin Yun's handsome face and said with smile, Little brother Yun, big sister will also rely on you to cultivate together in the future. Qin Yun looked at Xiao Xianqin and Zi Qingsheng. They also nodded their heads. He could not help but bitterly smile and said, It seems like I am truly burdened with a heavy burden. Sister Linglong, buy some more crystal nucleus. If you don't have enough purple crystal coins, I still have more, Qin Yun said. He guessed that the reason why it is difficult for him to break through is because the bone spirit and nether sun Dao core are difficult to feed. Or maybe that strange nether moon also needs energy. With Jian Linglong in charge of this matter, Qin Yun and others don't need to blindly worry. Little brat, we will return to Granny Yun Yao's side. She won't let us run around randomly during this period of time. Zi Qingcheng stroked Qin Yun's head and said, Wait until I buy enough crystal nucleus. I will think of a way to inform you. Qin Yun giggled and said, We are leaving, don't run around randomly. Shui Tianzi giggled and pinched Qin Yun's nose. After Xiao Xianqin, Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi left. Jian Linglong also promptly left to buy crystal nucleus. Xiao Yuemei is still here, eating fragrant and delicious fruits. Yuemei, I feel like I can't break through. Qin Yun sighed and said, Is it because my nether sun Dao core has a nether moon? I didn't tell Sister Yang about the specific situation. Maybe she knows something? Xiao Yuemei said. Qin Yun took out the immortal graveyard diagram and said, I can't contact Sister Kuru during this period of time. I don't know what kind of problem has occurred. Qin Yun dripped blood on it, but the immortal graveyard diagram still has no reaction. The situation of Sister Kiru's soul is much more serious than ours. Her soul is super powerful and her body's cultivation speed can't keep up. Therefore, every once in a while, she needs to let her soul sleep to stabilize the situation. Xiao Yuemei said, Maybe that's the case. Qin Yun sighed. Brother, will you participate in the sword dance competition anonymously or use your real identity? I heard that all the martial monarchs this time are very strong. Xiao Yuemei said. Qin Yun thought for a bit and said, I will use my real name. Xiao Yuemei somewhat anxiously said, Is this really all right? Qin Yun said, Ever since I entered the Nether Moon Desolate Domain, Sister Yang has become my main target. If I show myself, I can also share some of the pressure with her. All right, Xiao Yuemei said. Here, let's go sign up. Qin Yun's original appearance has been restored by Xiao Yuemei. Now he is wearing clean and simple gray-blue clothes. His dark and handsome face is filled with maturity and steadiness. His eyes are filled with sharp edge. He has an extraordinary temperament. Xiao Yuemei giggled and pulled Qin Yun to the front of the Sword Immortal Villa's gate. After the inscription competition is over, it will be the martial arts competition. This time, there will be martial arts competition between martial monarchs and martial kings. Therefore, many people are very much looking forward to it. Reportedly, majority of the martial kings participating in the martial arts competition are young martial kings. After all, old martial kings don't have the face to participate. At the center of the Sword Island, the Sword Immortal Villa is surrounded by 7 huge immortal swords. It is grand and imposing, giving people a solemn and safe feeling. Outside the Sword Immortal Villa's imposing gate is an incomparably spacious plaza. The plaza is filled with a boiling cauldron of voices. All kinds of lively sounds can be heard from far away. Chapter 774. Long Shengquang Qin Yun looked at the spacious plaza and cannot help but feel nervous in his heart, because there are indeed many powerful auras of martial monarchs. Qin Yun is still not a Xian martial realm martial monarch. Compared to those Xian martial realm cultivators, the difference is too great. Although there's still a few days until the competition. But in these few days, whether or not he can become a martial monarch is hard to say. In the Sword Martial Assembly, the highest martial monarch level competition can only be participated by mid-stage martial monarchs. Majority of the experts participating are mid-stage martial monarchs. For example, Jian Nanhu and Jian Ruyan are mid-stage martial monarchs. Although it is nighttime, the Sword Immortal Villa's plaza is not less lively. The people here waited until morning to register. There are many people registering. These are genius martial monarchs from several great states. It can be said that heroes have gathered here. Because a few years have passed, Qin Yun's appearance has gradually faded from everyone's mind. Especially those who have never seen Qin Yun. They simply cannot recognize him. However, Qin Yun's name is still like thunder piercing the ears. In the distance, Jian Ruyan, Jian Nanhu, Jian Meng, and many other Jian family disciples are gathered together, chatting and laughing. Suddenly, someone shouted, That person wearing gray-blue clothes looks very much like Qin Yun. I once saw him in front of the Immortal Weapon Palace's entrance. My impression of him is very deep. That person's voice is very loud. After the people nearby heard it, they immediately looked over. Jian Nanhu and Jian Rian looked over and immediately determined that it is Qin Yun. Most of the young talents of the proud star state recognized Qin Yun. After all, Qin Yun has left a very deep impression on them. Therefore, they immediately determined that it is Qin Yun. Qin Yun has arrived. This kind of super grand assembly, if Qin Yun is not here, people would feel that something is missing. After all, Qin Yun is a genius famous throughout the spirit desolate ordinary realm. Not to mention his formidable strength, he is also a genius inscription master. After the plaza became silent for a moment, a burst of noise suddenly burst out. Qin Yun has truly appeared. After being trapped in the Nether Moon desolate domain for many years, Qin Yun has finally come out. Jian Rian, Jian Nanhu, and Jian Mang directly flew over. Brother Yun, is it really you? Jian Rian finds it hard to believe and asked excitedly. Of course it's me. Qin Yun smiled faintly and looked at Jian Nanhu. Jian Nanhu said with a frown, Qin Yun, you are actually not a Xian martial realm martial monarch. You are only at the peak of the spirit martial realm. You did not cultivate a Xian Dao core. How disappointing. Qin Yun said, when I came out, I encountered some problems through space-time passage, causing me to lose a few years of time. Jian Ruyan pulled Qin Yun and said, Brother Yun, since that's the case, wait until you enter the Xian martial realm. Jian Nanhu said, Qin Yun, although you have not become a martial monarch, you are still very strong. You can also sign up for the competition. Even if you don't get any results, no one will laugh at you. Jian Mang said, it's best not to participate. As soon as he finished speaking, an insolent and domineering aura surged over. A handsome man with a jade-like face and cold arrogance in his eyes walked over with a group of young geniuses in luxurious clothes. This handsome man is wearing luxurious golden white clothes with dragon engravings. He is wearing a golden crown with dragon engravings on his head. The folding fan in his hand is also flickering with golden light, carved with dragon image. Even his golden boots are carved with golden dragons. This man, who is covered from head to toe in dragon aura, is also releasing very valiant dragon power. This is Long Shenquang, soaring dragon state's Long family patriarch's grandson. He has true dragon body. His martial spirit is some 3-colored martial spirit. He is a very dreadful guy. Jian Ruyan promptly sent voice transmission to Qin Yun. The aura of the group of young geniuses beside Long Shenquang is also not the least bit weak. Clearly, they're a group of very strong geniuses. You are Qin Yun? Long Shenquang looked at Qin Yun from the distance and said with disdainful smile, You are not even Xian martial realm, yet you actually dare to come out. If I were you, I would have holed up and come out after entering Xian martial realm. And you? Do you think it's the same as a few years ago? There is no place for you among the current martial Dao geniuses. Everyone knows how strong Long Shenquang is. Even Jian Nanhu is very afraid of him. Jian Nanhu said with sneer, Long Shenquang, I admit that you are very strong, but you're just a mid-stage Xian martial realm martial monarch. Why are you so arrogant in front of Qin Yun? He is only peak stage spirit martial realm. If you were peak stage spirit martial realm, you would have been beaten black and blue by him. Long Shenquang laughed loudly and said, Jian Nanhu, you think too highly of him. No wonder you were defeated by him several times. If it were me, I would have defeated him with one hand. Xiao Yuanmei looked at Long Shenquang's arrogant appearance and gnashed her teeth in anger. Qin Yun can also see that Long Shenquang is very strong. He has immortal devil body. His senses are very accurate, especially when facing dangerous and formidable people. He is especially sensitive. It seems like Long Shenquang's body is hiding a very formidable power. Xiao Yun, this guy is very strange. I think he came from Xian domain. Ling Yuner said, those young disciples around him might also be from Xian domain. Disciples from Xian domain. Spirit desolate Xian domain is more flourishing than ordinary realm outside. Cultivation methods and resource utilization are more developed than ordinary realm. Now a disciple from Xian domain has come out to help. Moreover, he is from Long family. It is very clear that Xian domain faction is secretly supporting Long family. Qinyan also did not pay attention to Long Shenquang. However, Long Shenquang's group of people walked over and surrounded Qinyan and Xiao Yuanmei. Xiao Yuanmei pulled Qinyan and wanted to walk out, but a red-clothed youth released a power and pushed her back. It even shook Xiao Yuanmei to the point of lightly shouting. "What do you want?" Qinyan said in deep voice. "Long Shenquang, this is our Jian family's territory. Don't be arrogant here." Jian Nanhu already unsheathed his sword. "I just want to see how strong the legendary Qinyan is," Long Shenquang said with sneer. Then he released a hidden energy attack towards Xiao Yuanmei's head. Apart from Qinyan, no one can sense this hidden energy. This hidden energy is very dreadful. It is very silent and contains dreadful power. This kind of power is also very difficult to sense. Qinyan only sensed it through the fluctuation of 9 sun spiritual energy. Qinyan immediately became extremely furious because Long Shenquang is attacking Xiao Yuanmei's head. He fiercely pulled Xiao Yuanmei away. After the hidden energy lost its target, it rushed towards Qinyan. Moreover, it is heading towards his head. This strange and dreadful hidden energy can sense the head of people nearby. Qinyan is apprehensive. Ling Yuner released a suction power through Nether Sun Martial Spirit and sucked the hidden energy over. Boom! After the hidden energy was disturbed, it ferociously rushed towards Qinyan's shoulder and produced a violent explosion. The explosion shook and released a bloody mist. A large hole has been blasted open on Qinyan's shoulder. Everyone is immediately horrified. The famous Qinyan was inexplicably injured in the shoulder by someone. Everyone looked at the indistinct flesh and blood on Qinyan's shoulder and are secretly apprehensive because there are many white threads on it. This is the power of a mortal devil body. It is quickly healing Qinyan's body. Long Shenquang, stop. Jian Nanhu became furious and promptly rushed over. At this time, a few half-immortals and martial emperors rushed over. "All of you stop. What is going on here?" The half-immortals who rushed over are Jian family people. Long Shenquang and his people injured Qinyan. Jian Nanhu furiously said. Qinyan is standing there, protecting Xiao Yuanmei behind him. His expression is gloomy and dreadful. Even though a large hole has been blasted open on his shoulder, he is not even frowning. Qinyan is suppressing incomparable anger in his heart. "I did not attack him. He was the one who attacked me. I don't know how he injured his shoulder." Long Shenquang indifferently smiled and waved his folding fan. "We also did not see Long Shenquang attack. Everyone could testify. We only surrounded Qinyan and asked him some things about Nethermoon Desolate Domain. I did not expect that he would actually attack." Many spectators also testified one after another that Long Shenquang did not attack. Nobody saw Long Shenquang attack. They also did not sense his aura. Qinyan's shoulder suddenly exploded. It was definitely not his doing. "Qinyan, you and my Long family have enmity. I will represent my Long family to thoroughly sever all grudges with you." Long Shenquang's handsome face is filled with disdain. He said with smile, "If you want to fight me, sign up and participate in the martial arts competition. We will settle our grudges on the battle stage. You are not qualified to represent your Long family to settle our grudges. Only when your Long family is completely exterminated can it be considered settled." Qinyan said word by word. "Long Shenquang, don't think too highly of yourself. Qinyan, you are not even at Xian martial realm, yet you dare to be arrogant in front of me. You truly overestimate yourself." Long Shenquang said with sneer. "We are leaving." Qinyan pulled Xiao Yuanmei. Just as he took a few steps, a red-clothed man tripped him, causing him to almost fall down. "What is your name?" After being tripped, Qinyan turned his head, looked at the red-clothed man, and coldly asked, "You are not qualified to know my name." The red-clothed man said with sneer, "What are you looking at? Scram for me. He is called Yuzhinshin." Jian Ruyan is also very angry looking, but they cannot attack here. All right, I will remember it. Qin Yun pulled Xiao Yuanmei and walked a few steps. Those few youths who are very familiar with Long Shenquang also agreed to spit at Qin Yun, but they were all blocked by Qin Yun's energy barrier. Xiao Yuanmei is also very calm. She is very clear that with Jian family people here, they cannot attack, otherwise they will be driven out of Sword Island. Jian Meng cannot see, but he can sense Qin Yun's deep and dreadful killing intent. He said in low voice, "These guys won't live for long." Jian Rian also jogged to follow him. Jian Nanhu looked at Long Shenquang and said with sneer, "Long Shenquang, you dare to bully people with low cultivation. If you have the guts, come and bully me." Jian Nanhu, you trash who lost to Qin Yun. Don't be arrogant here. Ha ha ha. Long Shenquang laughed loudly and left. Qin Yun appeared, but after being humiliated, he left with hatred in his heart. This matter very quickly spread throughout Sword Island. Chapter 775. Sun and Moon coexist. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuanmei returned to Sword Immortal Tower and entered Jian Linglong's luxurious suite. Xiao Yuanmei took out some medicinal liquid and wiped the wound on Qin Yun's shoulder. "Brother, does it hurt?" Xiao Yuanmei said with some heartache. "That big hole is gradually healing. It looks very scary." "It doesn't hurt." Qin Yun faintly smiled at Xiao Yuanmei. "Yuanmei, you are also very calm." According to Xiao Yuanmei's temperament, she is not yelling and screaming. This is very abnormal. Qin Yun understands Xiao Yuanmei very well. Seeing her so calm, he knows that something is wrong. "Of course I am calm. I won't get angry because of those dead people." Xiao Yuanmei lightly groaned and said, "Yuanmei, do you want to act alone and kill those guys?" Qin Yun promptly grabbed her little hand and asked, "I will go kill them in a moment." "Who told them to humiliate you like that?" Xiao Yuanmei said, "Yuanmei, those guys are not simple. They might be from Xian Domain." Qin Yun saw how calm Xiao Yuanmei is and guessed what she wants to do. "So we just let it go." Xiao Yuanmei is very unreconciled and said, "She is very obedient to Qin Yun. If Qin Yun doesn't let her act, she will not go. Don't we still have a few days? I will surely break through in a few days." Qin Yun's expression sank. "When the time comes, I will openly kill those guys on the battle stage." Xiao Yuanmei sighed and said, "It seems like Xian Domain people have already appeared here. No wonder Granny Yun Yao doesn't let Sister Yang run around." Xian Domain people also came here for Yang Shuriwa, because they all want to obtain the Star Lord inscription spirit in her hands. Jian Shirtan, Bao Changshou, Chu Binyu, Jian Ruyan, and Jian Nanhu are already standing at the entrance. "Isn't this Linglong's residence? Qin Yun is actually here. Could it be that he is that Xiao Yun?" Jian Shirtian said in amazement. "It must be him." Jian Rian also came to a sudden realization. "I was wondering why Sister Linglong suddenly became so close to a strange brat and even kissed him on the mouth." Jian Nanhu groaned and said, "This guy Qin Yun, he is always flirting with women everywhere. He is unrestrained and unrestrained. No wonder he is still unable to step into the Xian martial realm after so many years." After he finished speaking, he glanced at Jian Ruyan and said, "Little Sister Yin, don't get too close to this brat Qin Yun." Bao Changshou and the others shook their heads and smiled when they heard that. Jian Shirtian knocked on the door and shouted, "Qin Yun, it's us." Qin Yun hurriedly opened the door and saw Bao Changshou and company. When Chu Binyu saw Xiao Yuanmei, he was secretly grateful in his heart because it was Xiao Yuanmei who gave him pointers in cultivation last time. "You little demon, you actually took away our Jian family's sun rune." Jian Shirtian chuckled as soon as he entered. "Qin Yun, it seems like you came back early." Bao Changshou said with a smile. When Qin Yun saw the elders arrive, he immediately invited them in. After they entered, they immediately inquired about Qin Yun's injuries. Qin Yun's injuries are not serious. He's just thoroughly infuriated. Because Long Shenquang deliberately attacked Xiao Yuanmei, he wanted to injure the people beside Qin Yun and infuriate him. Bao Changsho and the others inquired about Qin Yun's situation in the Nether Moon Desolate Domain and then left. Jian Nanhu and Jian Ruyan also left. They still have to go register. Daybreak. Jian Linglong, who went out for a night, also returned. She also found out about Qin Yun's matter. And the matter of Qin Yun's appearance has spread throughout the entire Sword Island. Everyone knows that Qin Yun was ruthlessly humiliated by Long Shengquang and others. They also know that Qin Yun's cultivation is very low. That's why he suffered such a great loss. Jian Linglong found out that Qin Yun's shoulder was blown up and immediately rushed back. Moreover, she looks like a volcano that can erupt at any time. She is holding back her incomparable anger. After she returned and saw Qin Yun, she tore apart Qin Yun's clothes and saw the injury on his shoulder. She immediately became furious. What Long Shengquang? This old lady will go chop him into minced meat and feed him to dogs. Sister Linglong, if you go like this, you will surely fight with Long family. This time Sword Martial Assembly is a confrontation between Long family and Jian family. Long family must have sent many half-immortals. Qin Yun said. Jian Linglong carefully thought about it. She also knows that with her own strength, it is impossible to shake Long family. Long family has Xian Domain behind them. I heard that Long Shengquang also came from Xian Domain. Jian Linglong said. A group of people must have come from Xian Domain. Sister Linglong, I have purple crystal coins here. Take them and buy a large amount of crystal nucleus. Qin Yun said. All right. Jian Linglong took the purple crystal coins from Qin Yun and then hastily left. Soon after, Zi Qingsheng, Shui Tianzi, and Xiao Xianqin also arrived. They took the healing medicine given by Yang Shuriwei and healed the injury on Qin Yun's shoulder. Qin Yun, Shuriwei is also participating in the martial art competition. She said that she will help you take revenge. Xiao Xianqin said. Is there any reason why Sister Yang is participating in the martial arts competition? With her temperament, she should not participate in this kind of matter, right? Qin Yun asked. Shuriwei said that she wants to defeat all the Xian Domain and Long family people in the martial arts competition. Back then in the Nether Moon Desolate Domain, she was injured by Long family people, and now she's being threatened by Xian Domain. She wants an eye for an eye. Shui Tianzi lightly sighed. Long family is a malignant tumor. Qin Yun clenched his fists. He is also worried that Yang Shuriwei is not a match for Xian Domain people. Xian Domain people have abundant resources. Their cultivation method is also quite brilliant. Their strength is indeed very strong. Zi Qingsheng said. The registration time is within 5 days. Qin Yun also plans to go register after breaking through. Jian Linglong bought a large amount of crystal nucleus at a high price. The quality of these crystal nucleus are all different, but there are a lot of them. The spacious secret room is also piled up with crystal nucleus. Let's begin. Qin Yun and the few women gathered in a circle, palm touching palm. They entered a cultivation state. While Qin Yun is absorbing the energy inside the crystal nucleus, he is also secretly using Immortal Devil Sacred Body Art's power circulation method. Through the 9 Sun Divine Soul, he is drawing in the 9 kinds of sun energy inside the crystal nucleus. After the energy entered his body, it is circulating according to Immortal Devil Sacred Body Art's method, and it becomes very violent. When Qin Yun cultivated Immortal Devil Body, he realized that the essence of Immortal Devil Sacred Body Art is one word: pain. At this moment, the energy he absorbed was still relatively mild. He transferred this energy to Xiao Yuemei's body. After Xiao Yuemei absorbed it, she sensed that something is wrong. It has become very strong. It even contains a kind of energy that can quickly strengthen body. After fusing with the energy inside her body, it became even stronger. Xiao Yuemei transferred the strengthened energy to Zi Qingqing's body. Soon after, it passed through Shui Tianzi and Xiao Xianqin's body. When it reached Jian Linglong's body, it has already been strengthened by several times. So much so that even Jian Linglong, who is a martial emperor, can sense that the energy is very beneficial. Finally, when the energy returned to Qin Yun's body, it has already been strengthened by several times. It made Qin Yun feel that the energy that flowed out is like a small stream, and the energy that returned is like a surging great river, fiercely battering his body. Qin Yun cannot help but let out a painful cry. "Are you all right?" Jian Linglong promptly asked. Even though she is a martial emperor, she can feel that the energy is very strong. "I can endure it." Qin Yun thought about how Yang Shuriwei will have to face Long Xinquang's group. He frowned and said in deep voice. He continued, "Jian Linglong and Qin Yun have more than 10 billion purple crystal coins. They are all used to buy crystal nucleus. They have used batch after batch. They don't even know how many crystal nucleus they have used. What is unimaginable is that, in a short few days, Zi Qingsheng, Shui Tianzi, and Xiao Xianqin managed to cultivate immortal body. Even Jian Linglong's cultivation has also increased. And now Qin Yun's body overflowed with 9-colored light. He is lying on the ground with his eyes closed. His mind is already sealed. He cannot hear what is happening outside. Xiao Yuemei said in low voice, "The energy that appeared on my brother's body is 9-colored light. This means 9 types of sun energy. Doesn't he only have one sun spirit vein?" Jian Linglong already discovered that Qin Yun can absorb as many as 9 types of energy. This is also the reason why they can strengthen so quickly. "We will go out. Let him break through in peace," Jian Linglong said. After the few women left, only Qin Yun is inside the secret room. The reason why Qin Yun is unconscious is because his Nether Sun Dao core is having a great change. When he was in Nether Moon Desolate Domain, he obtained the Nether Moon and sealed it inside his Nether Sun Dao core. And now, the Nether Moon inside his Nether Sun Dao core actually ran out, entered his mind, and swallowed his moon transformation mind. Now his mind is not that weak moon from before. It is now a Nether Moon. Mind is Nether Moon. Dao core is Nether Sun. This is an absolutely excellent combination. Yin and Yang correspond with immortal and devil. Maybe it will allow him to cultivate immortal devil sacred body even more smoothly. Ling Yuner said in amazement. No wonder he consumed so many crystal nucleus. He used Nether Moon to condense Nether Sun. The Xian Dao core Qin Yun has condensed now is Nether Sun. He cultivated Nether Sun ahead of time. I don't know if it is a bad thing or not. Ling Yuner is the Nether Sun Dao spirit. She is caught unprepared by what is happening. Xiao Yun. Ling Yuner called out to Qin Yun. Yuner, I am fine, Qin Yun replied. His consciousness is still there. This made Ling Yuner feel a lot more relieved. The reason why you are in this state is because you cultivated Sun and Moon Heart Sutra and Immortal Devil Sacred Body art with those women. This kind of situation happened too early, Ling Yuner said. Qin Yun suddenly opened his eyes, then stood up and said with smile, Sun and Moon power fusion. The might should be very strong. The Sun and Moon power he grasped are the strongest Nether Moon and Nether Sun. Both are black. Qin Yun broke through very peacefully. There's not even a bit of Xian Dao power aura inside his body. However, his Nether Sun Dao core has already transformed into a very small Nether Sun. It is not an ordinary Xian Dao core. What is even more dreadful is that he can use Nether Moon to release very strong mental power. Chapter 776. Competition begins. Chapter 776. Competition begins. After Qin Yun came out, he saw Xiao Yuemei waiting for him. Where are they? Qin Yun asked. They have already gone to the battle stage. They want to cheer for Big Sister Yang. After Xiao Yuemei saw Qin Yun, she feels that he is somewhat different. However, she is still very doubtful. She asked in low voice, Brother, have you entered Xian martial realm? Qin Yun said with smile, My cultivation situation has changed a lot, but it's still going well overall. All right, let's go. Xiao Yuemei did not ask much. She pulled Qin Yun and left. Today is the last day of Martial Monarch competition registration. Those who wanted to register have already registered. Qin Yun's appearance here has caused no small commotion. Long Xinquang's group, is not here. The registration location is outside the Sword Immortal Villa's main gate. After Qin Yun registered, he took out a jade card and entered the Sword Immortal Villa. There's been no news of Qin Yun these past few days. I thought he was hiding. Did not expect that he would not be able to swallow his anger and actually went to register for Martial Monarch competition. A3. Long Xinquang is deliberately provoking him. He wants him to participate so he can humiliate him on the battle stage. Long Xinquang also said many humiliating words to Qin Yun these past few days. It seems like Qin Yun is still unable to keep his cool. Many people saw Qin Yun enter the Sword Immortal Villa and indescribably looked forward to it. Then they also followed him in. Today, the participating martial monarchs can inspect the battle stage. Qin Yun also found out that there are only 100 martial monarchs participating in the competition. It is not a lot. It is not that there are too few martial monarchs. Rather, everyone knows that this competition is a competition between top young geniuses. Those who do not have absolute confidence will not register because they will only make a fool of themselves. If their luck is not good, maybe they will be injured. There is a huge open battle stage in the eastern region of the Sword Immortal Villa. There are many spectator seats in this battle stage. It can accommodate 100,000 people. The battle stage is several hundred meters wide. It can be considered spacious, but for martial monarchs, is still a bit small. When Qin Yun entered the arena, several sharp gazes looked over in unison. Elders of various major powers, as well as those young geniuses who have registered for martial monarch competition, looked at Qin Yun. Qin Yun's appearance here meant that he had signed up for the martial arts competition. Everyone knew that Qin Yun was only at the peak of the spirit martial realm. However, he still signed up to participate in the martial art competition filled with powerful enemies. Clearly, he was provoked by Long Xinquang. Long Xinquang and Long family people proudly revealed smile when they saw Qin Yun. They were also looking forward to Qin Yun participating in the martial arts competition. They were worried that they wouldn't make it, especially the Long family. They suffered great losses at Qin Yun's hands, so they must get revenge. And the best way is to kill Qin Yun in front of everyone during the martial arts competition. Qin Yun looked at Yang Shiyue. Yang Shiyue wore simple white clothes and a scarf around her neck. She used the scarf to cover half of her face. When she saw Qin Yun arrive, she seemed to sense the strange phenomenon in Qin Yun's body. Her beautiful eyes were suffused with astonishment. Bao Changshu and Chu Binyu quickly walked to Qin Yun. Qin Yun, did you sign up? Jian Nanhu immediately asked. In. Qin Yun took out his jade card and said with smile, Jian Nanhu, if you lose to me again, don't even think about getting that sword. Jian Nanhu's Dao sword is still with Xiao Xianqin. Qin Yun, I won't lose to you again. Jian Nanhu said with smile, and then looked at Long Xinquang. Jian Nanhu's target is Long Xinquang, a genius martial monarch from Sacred Domain. He is mysterious and formidable. Not only Long Xinquang, the group of youngsters following him are also very strong. Jian Shitian said. The competition will officially start tomorrow. There are more than 100 martial monarchs participating in the martial arts competition. Therefore, there must be a process. There must be a series of martial arts competitions to allow the strongest to enter the finals. Long family's people and Xian Domain's experts are releasing very powerful aura. It seems like they're showing off. They have come to Jian family's territory and still dare to be so arrogant. They must have very strong strength. Bao Changshu said. Then can you explain the content of tomorrow's martial arts competition? Yes. Jian Shitian said. The content of tomorrow's martial arts competition is to fight puppets. This caused all the participating martial monarchs to be somewhat astonished. Qin Yun is also somewhat surprised because this kind of martial art competition is not too difficult for him. Long family old man said with sneer, Your Jian family's puppets? It will be very convenient for you to cheat. Jian Shitian said, How about this? Our Jian family and your Long family will each take out half of the puppets. Our Jian family's puppets will be used to compete with your Long family's martial monarchs. And your Long family's puppets will be used to compete with our Jian family's martial monarchs. A long family middle-aged man looked at Qin Yun and said with sneer, "What about Qin Yun and Yang Shuriwe? Which family's puppets will be used?" "We will use your puppets. This should be fine, right?" Jian Shurtian chuckled. Jian family doesn't want to use so many puppets because they are very easy to damage. "We will use peak Xian martial puppets." "Do you have these puppets in your hands?" Jian Shurtian said again. "Of course we do." Long family people proudly smiled and glanced at Qin Yun. Qin Yun walked towards a spacious battle stage and took a stroll on it. With Jian Shurtian and so many other people here, he doesn't need to worry about the Long family people taking action. Yang Shuriwe also walked to Qin Yun's side and followed him to a place far away from the crowd. "Sister Yang, I made you worry." Qin Yun sent voice transmission to Yang Shuriwe. "I'm not the only one worried about you. You also frequently asks about your situation. She is currently in a mortal desolate. Every month when the moon is full, she always contacts me to ask about your situation." Yang Shuriwe saw that Qin Yun is safe and sound, and her heart that had been hanging in suspense finally relaxed. "Xiao Yun, you won't blame her, right?" Yang Shuriwe and you are twin sisters. Qin Yun and you have such a big conflict. It is also a headache for her. "Of course not." Qin Yun feels that if you did not bring him into the Nether Moon Desolate domain, he would not have obtained the Moon Lady inscription spirit. "That's good. I was worried that you would hate her from now on." Yang Shuriwe smiled in relief. Qin Yun looked at the group of people in the distance and sent voice transmission to Yang Shuriwe. "Sister Yang, I obtained the Nether Moon and also the Moon Lady inscription spirit in the Nether Moon Desolate domain." He told Yang Shuriwe the ins and outs of these matters. Yu is really too stupid. She couldn't get the Nether Moon for so long, and you got it the moment you went in. After Yang Shuriwe heard this, she shook her head and smiled. "Sister Yang, that Nether Sun has now become my spirit. I can't return it to you." Qin Yun feels somewhat guilty about this. "It's fine. You being able to obtain the Nether Moon is your opportunity. Didn't you say that? In the future, if you have a way to create a Nether Moon, when you have enough strength, you can return it to me." Yang Shuriwe chuckled and stroked Qin Yun's head. "Then my cultivation situation." Qin Yun also doesn't know the specific situation. It's somewhat complicated. After you go back, ask Bing Xing. She's better than me in this aspect. Yang Shuriwe said. If he asked Xie Karu, he would definitely have an answer very quickly. But now he can't contact Xie Karu. Qin Yun and Yang Shuriwe are strolling around the battle stage. They secretly sent sound transmission to each other for a long time, talking about many things. When the time is almost up, Qin Yun followed Bao Changshu and others and left the magnificent battle stage. The next day, the battle stage is filled with people. The people who came to watch the battle are all disciples of Spirit Desolate's Ordinary Realm's major powers. They all bought tickets. Qin Yun entered the battle stage and lined up with a group of martial monarchs, waiting for Jian Shurtian's arrival. He feels that today's battle is not worth watching at all, because this is just a selection competition. It is a competition between martial artists and puppets to determine who will be promoted. So long as one can defeat the Xian martial puppet within an incense stick worth of time, they will be promoted. This kind of selection competition will surely wipe out more than half of the people. What Qin Yun cares about most is whether or not he can compete with Long Xinquang. Only by defeating Long Xinquang can he take revenge for last time's enmity. Qin Yun, you are even more impulsive than I imagined. I just casually provoked you, and you actually came. Ha ha ha. Long Xinquang finished speaking, then looked at Yang Shuriwe and said in frivolous tone, Big Beauty Yang, if you compete with me, I will treat you very gently. Ha ha ha. Qin Yun's eyes are filled with killing intent as he looked at Long Xinquang. Jian Shurtian arrived and said, In this competition, as long as you can enter top 10, you will get a special reward. If you get first place, your cultivation will increase by 1 stage. For example, if you were originally mid-stage Xian martial realm, if you get first place, our Sword Immortal Pavilion will help you steadily increase your cultivation to late-stage Xian martial realm. This kind of reward caused many people to cry out in envy. Qin Yun has just entered Xian martial realm. He is only initial stage martial monarch, so this kind of reward is very important to him. All right, you have a total of 110 people. Next, you'll have to fight with puppets. Through this kind of fight, you will display your strength and defeat the puppets within an incense stick worth of time. Jin Shurtian finished speaking and then began to read names. He called out the names of 10 people and then arranged the puppets according to their origins. Earlier, it was agreed that Jin family and Long family will send out puppets to fight against the martial monarch disciples of the opposing power. In other words, on the large battle stage, there will be 10 matches in one go. The battle stage is very big. It can accommodate everyone. It is just that it will be very chaotic. Long Xinquang is in the first batch. The first batch are all disciples from Long family's sphere of influence. Some of them are even from Xian domain. The first batch of puppets are also from Jian family. Qin Yun and the others have not entered the stage. They are watching from the side. Jian Ruyan said, "Brother Yun, we can take this opportunity to see the strength of those guys." Yang Shuriwe shook her head and said, "Those people from Xian domain will not easily reveal their strength. Although they are arrogant, they are not stupid." At this time, the fight between Xian martial realm martial monarchs and Xian martial puppets began. During the fight, weapons cannot be used. Chapter 777. Vajra puppets. Just as Yang Shuriwe said, Long Xinquang's group did not immediately reveal their formidable strength. They are doing this to make other people unable to figure it out. Long Xinquang's group usually look very arrogant, but they are also on guard against Jian Nanhu's group of genius disciples. Now, they are very cautious. These guys are fighting like an old woman. Jian Ruyan lightly groaned and said. The audience at the scene also let out a lot of curses because this kind of martial art competition made them very unsatisfied. Little sister Yin, your Jian family's puppets are too weak. Are they really peak martial monarch puppets? Qin Yun ridiculed and said. Jian Ruyan cursed in low voice. I also don't know. They indeed look very weak. Jian Nanhu said in cold voice. It is not that our Jian family puppets are weak. Rather, those Xian domain guys are too strong. Yang Shuriwe said, those Xian domain guys seem to be very slow, but they are secretly releasing a kind of power to make the puppets sluggish. This way, the puppets look very weak, and Long Xinquang's group doesn't need to use very strong power. As long as they find an opportunity, they will deal a fatal blow to the puppets. Chubinyu said. Not long after, Long Xinquang suddenly attacked. He no longer dodged and punched through the air, sending the middle-aged puppet flying. The puppet is lying on the ground and can't move. It means it has lost its fighting strength. Long Xinquang can also advance to the next rank. Very soon, the first batch of 10 martial monarchs finished their battle. All of them managed to kill the puppets. The second batch is Yang Shuriwe, Jian Nanhu, and Jian Ruyan. This is according to the order of the registration. Long Xinquang's group are the first batch to sign up. With their overbearing style, no one fought with them to sign up. After it is Jian Nanhu's group's turn, it is time for Long family to send their puppets. Their puppets look like middle-aged people. After the battle began, the battle became very intense. Jian Nanhu also did not think of hiding his strength. He immediately launched a fierce attack. Not long after the battle began, the Long family's puppets were destroyed. Jian Ruyan is also the same. Almost all the Jian family disciples frantically attacked from the beginning. Only Yang Shi was carefully fighting the puppets. Qin Yun looked at Yang Shuriwe and could not sense her energy fluctuations. They were all very ordinary moves, and there was no aura. Sister Yang is also hiding a very strong power. Ling Yun said, and she should only be using the power of her body now. Qin Yun also noticed. The second group of people faced the puppets sent by the Long family. They were also able to defeat them and beat them into pieces. The spectators, especially the martial monarchs, were all shocked by this. because the participating martial monarchs were only at the middle stage of the profound martial realm. The puppets they were facing were all at the peak of the Xian martial realm. However, those puppets could all be destroyed. Were the puppets too weak, or were those young geniuses too strong? This instantly caused many people to be extremely puzzled. The puppets were indeed not strong enough. At least, that was what Qin Yun believed. Puppets were quite precious, especially puppets at the peak of the Xuanwu realm. Now, 10 of the Long family's branches had been destroyed, and it was quite painful. Even if his heart ached, he had to continue. The Long family has already begun to regret they should not have volunteered to send puppets. However, they are not willing to miss an opportunity to deal with Qin Yun and Yang Shuriyue. The puppets they sent to deal with Yang Shuriyue were also very strong, but they were still beaten into pieces. Following that, the martial monarchs who went on stage gradually began to appear. Some martial monarchs were unable to defeat the puppets within the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. A few of them were even injured by the puppets. Only the first and second group of martial monarchs were the strongest. The first group of martial monarchs were Xian domain and Long family disciples. The second group of martial monarchs were the outstanding disciples of Jian family and other sections. The later group of martial monarchs gradually became weaker. At noon, 10 matches took place. Now only 40 or so people can advance to the next round. The rest have been eliminated. Qin Yun signed up last, so he is also in the last match. Finally, this guy is coming up. Yu Zhenshin, who kicked Qin Yun earlier, saw Qin Yun walk up and said very impatiently, "If I did not want to see how he is being oppressed, I would have already gone to sleep." Yu Zhenshin yawned. Long Shenquang laughed and said, "The puppets from before were just trash puppets from Long family. And now the ones on stage are from our Xian domain." Yu Zhenshin laughed loudly and said, "I have no choice but to say this guy Qin Yun has some ability. He can make our Xian domain's elders treat him so specially." After Jian Nanhu and others heard this, their expression slightly changed. Long Shenquang looked at Jian Nanhu and said with a smile, "Jian Nanhu, just watch how this guy Qin Yun will be crippled by our Xian domain's puppets." Jian Nanhu said with sneer, "Long Shenquang, didn't you want to defeat Qin Yun on the battle stage?" Yu Zhenshin said with sneer, "If Qin Yun can't even defeat puppets, he is not qualified to compete with Boss Long." Qin Yun is in the last group. The people in his group are all disciples of other sections. The puppets that came up were all from the Long family. The 10 puppets that appeared on stage are all glittering with golden light, as if they are made of golden crystals. They don't have human appearance. They are just human-shaped golden iron lumps. Moreover, each and every one of these puppets are very big. They have very strong Xian Dao power. They can also sense that these puppets have peak Xian martial realm Xian Dao cores inside their bodies. Spectators immediately became excited because they finally saw the formidable puppets. Sword Sect Master, isn't this breaking the rules? There must be some problem with their puppets. Bao Changsho promptly shouted. Everyone can see that these puppets are very strong. An old man from Xian Domain said with sneer, "Our puppets are not martial kings. How can it be breaking the rules?" Xian Domain's puppets are indeed not the same. Jian Shurtian and a few Jian family half-immortals promptly walked over to check, then shook their heads because these puppets are indeed not martial king level puppets. Long Shenquang proudly laughed and said, "These are our Vajra Xian martial puppets." Even initial stage martial kings would find it difficult to defeat these puppets within an incense stick worth of time, let alone Qin Yun. Jian Linglong said with frown, "These Vajra puppets have Dao totems inside their bodies. Damn it, those are very strong totems. The totem runes inside the puppets before were only Xian totem, and the ones inside the Vajra puppets are Dao totems. Therefore these puppets are even more dreadful." Yu Zhenshin said with sneer, "These Vajra puppets are not easy to defeat, even for us. It is truly a pity that Qin Yun will not be able to participate in the later part of the competition. I really want to find an opportunity to oppress him." Seeing these Vajra puppets appear, many people are very worried about Qin Yun. Among the 10 people on the battle stage, 9 of them have directly forfeited. Now the spectators all know that the Vajra puppets are carved with Dao totems, and the materials used are very precious. As expected of Xian domain puppets, they are much stronger than our ordinary realm's puppets. One Vajra puppet's value is equal to one of our initial stage martial kings. A long family old man said with smile. An old man from Xian domain proudly said in loud voice, "Not just one? Its value is equal to 2 of your initial stage martial kings." This kind of Vajra puppet took more than 1,000 years to refine. It is extremely precious. It is mainly used to enter some dangerous environment to explore. Vajra puppets can go to vile environment that many people cannot go to. For example, some very high temperature area or very cold area. Our Vajra puppets are mainly responsible for finding treasures. We call them treasure seekers. The value of a Vajra puppet is inestimable. To be able to refine this kind of puppet, it can also reflect the strength of a faction. That Xian domain old man's proud words reverberated throughout the battle stage. It can be heard by tens of thousands of spectators. Spectators also repeatedly sighed in admiration. They immediately fantasized about having such a thing to help them find treasures. Because 9 martial monarchs have forfeited, Qin Yun is the only one left on the battle stage. However, the Xian domain old man did not withdraw the other 9 Vajra puppets. They're still on the battle stage. This can also serve as a kind of deterrence. Jian Shitian saw that Qin Yun has no intention of forfeiting. His expression is firm. He secretly sighed and then shouted, "Begin! Begin!" The Vajra puppet shot out like a Vajra. This kind of speed is already comparable to martial kings. Qin Yun is done for. Yu Jinshin excitedly yelled. The Vajra puppet rushed out like light and punched. Boom! The Vajra puppet's golden stone like huge fist hit Qin Yun's face and burst out a burst of intense air wave. Golden air wave immediately rushed out in all directions. The several hundred meters wide battle stage gave rise to surging energy rays. The battle stage's barrier also promptly absorbed the airwave. Although the battle stage is filled with golden mist, everyone saw that Qin Yun's face was punched in an instant. This is a serious injury to the head. Jian Rian is also worried to death. She nervously grabbed Jian Linglong's hand. The golden mist dispersed. Qin Yun is still standing at his original position. Qin Yun's head is still there. He is not dead. Someone shouted in alarm. Not only Qin Yun's head is still there, the injury on his face is not serious. It is only a bit red. Seeing this scene, Long Xinquang, Yu Jinshin, and the other Xian domain geniuses open their eyes wide. They feel very shocked. Those Xian domain old men are also shocked by the battle stage's situation to the point that they find it hard to believe. Qin Yun touched his face and said with sneer, "Just this kind of trash, yet you have the nerve to take it out and brag. Even a clay man I made is stronger than them." While he was speaking, the Vajra puppet punched again. Qin Yun dodged the punch and arrived behind the Vajra puppet in a flash. Then 2 fingers joined together and vigorously stabbed towards the Vajra puppet's head. This is piercing heavenly fingers, piercing mountain, and splitting earth finger. Bang! Heaven-shaking thunderclap explosion shook the horizon. Qin Yun clasped his 2 fingers together and shot out a powerful black light. It entered the Vajra puppet's head. Boom! Chapter 778. Puppet Terminator. The Vajra puppet's entire body was very tough, especially its head, which could withstand multiple attacks from a Dao artifact. But now it was destroyed by Qin Yun's 2 fingers. Those people from the Xian domain are all extremely shocked. They could not understand how Qin Yun could release such terrifying power when he was not even at the Xian martial realm. The reason why they did not discover that Qin Yun has entered Xian martial realm is because Qin Yun has cultivated Nether Sun and not traditional Xian Dao core. After the Vajra puppet's head was smashed, it did not collapse. The Vajra puppet's core was not in its head, so it could continue to fight. At this moment, the Xian domain's people also came to control the puppet. The Vajra puppet fiercely turned around, and its fists rumbled like countless bolts of golden lightning. In the blink of an eye, hundreds and thousands of punches were launched. The fist force transformed into dense lightning, sweeping out in a fan shape, covering a large area. The audience stood up and looked at the area enveloped by the golden lightning. Qin Yun seemed to have been penetrated by many golden lightning punches, but he was still able to stand. Furthermore, he was not torn apart. "It's an afterimage," someone shouted. Sure enough, the Vajra puppet only hit Qin Yun's afterimage. As for Qin Yun's true body, it suddenly vanished. Qin Yun used the 9 extinction steps passing shadow extinction breath to make himself disappear without a trace for a short period of time. Qin Yun is in the sky. Someone suddenly saw a blurry shadow appear in the sky. As expected, Qin Yun plummeted from the sky. The moment he landed, the Vajra puppet also punched the air. A golden lightning bolt, as thick as a water tank, rushed up, seemingly enveloping Qin Yun. Boom! Qin Yun waved his palm and actually suppressed the golden lightning bolt. His palm burst out with a gust of wind that howled like a dragon's wail. Extinction Dragon Palm. Although it is only Extinction Dragon 5 palms, with Qin Yun's current strength, it is enough to destroy the Vajra puppet. Bang! When Qin Yun landed, he suppressed the golden lightning. The power of Extinction Dragon 5 palms accompanied the golden lightning and entered into the Vajra puppet's body. The sound of the explosion was very crisp, and it made people's ears go numb. Cracks also appeared on the Vajra puppet's body, as if it was about to shatter into pieces. Boom! Qin Yun attacked with 2 more palm strikes, completely shattering the Vajra puppet. The shattered Vajra puppet turned into many tiny golden crystal particles that floated around the martial stage. They flickered with a golden brilliance, sparkling and translucent. It was very beautiful. However, many people couldn't help but imagine the beautiful golden splendor as a bloody mist. If a human suffered such a powerful attack, they would definitely turn into a bloody mist. Qin Yun won. He completely destroyed the formidable Vajra puppet. The audience burst into thunderous exclamations. Jian Shitian also heaved a long sigh of relief. At the same time, he is secretly shocked by Qin Yun's current strength. Long Shengquang, Yu Jinshin, and other Xian domain geniuses are also speechless. They're tightly clenching their fists. "This is your mysterious domain's Vajra puppet? Truly trash." Jian Rian mocked. Just as Jian Shitian is about to remove the barrier, the other 9 Vajra puppets on the battle stage suddenly moved. This caused an uproar among the crowd. Those 9 Vajra puppets were originally prepared for the other 9 martial monarchs, but because they feared the Vajra puppet's strength, they all withdrew. However, those 9 Vajra puppets have not been removed. "What are you doing?" Jian Shitian looked at the Xian domain people and furiously shouted. "Out of control. These Vajra puppets have spirituality. They saw their companions being destroyed, so they uncontrollably attacked Qin Yun." Xian domain old man promptly said, "Quickly remove the barrier." Xian domain and Long family people all have sinister smile on their faces. One look is enough to tell that this is their doing. 9 Vajra puppets attacked. They are like 9 golden light streaking around chaotically. Their speed is as fast as lightning. It is impossible to clearly see their bodies. Boom, boom, boom. While the 9 Vajra puppets are running chaotically, they're also unceasingly attacking Qin Yun. And Qin Yun cannot block them. He can dodge them. He is also very awesome. Long Shengquang said with sneer. Qin Yun is dead for sure. It is clear that Xian domain people are deliberately controlling the Vajra puppets to attack Qin Yun. Qin Yun, who is on the battle stage, also knows about this. However, he is secretly happy in his heart. Vajra puppets are very precious, right? Qin Yun suddenly jumped to the sky. 9 Vajra puppets also flew over. Yuner attacked them. Qin Yun yelled. Ling Yuner promptly released gravity. Now the gravity released by Ling Yuner is even stronger. It ferociously pressed down on the Vajra puppets. Rumble. 9 Vajra puppets cannot anticipate this kind of power. They collided with the gravity and bounced back to the ground and heavily dropped down. This caused a burst of cry of alarm. 9 Vajra puppets attacked simultaneously, but they were unable to even touch Qin Yun and were knocked down to the ground. Just as he landed, Qin Yun used tree totem martial arts. He released Xian Dao power through Nether Sun and condensed many tree vines that shot out from the ground. In the blink of an eye, 9 Vajra puppets have been tightly wrapped up by black tree vines and tree roots, twisting into a large ball of tree vines. Qin Yun's body suddenly madly rushed out with black gas, making him look like a devil god. At the same time, the earth also slightly trembled. Qin Yun released Earthquake Divine Ability Power, condensed this divine ability power into his arm, and then attacked the large ball of tree vines. Rumble, trembling, and vibration burst out from the battle stage. The tree vines burst out with black gas, accompanied by many golden, sparkling, and translucent light, submerged the battle stage. Jian Shitian was just about to remove the barrier, but seeing such a huge fluctuation, he promptly stopped. Spectators outside the battle stage can only see that the barrier is filled with churning black gas and black golden light mist. Xian Domain, old man's face twitched in heartache. Just a moment ago, they sensed that the connection between the 9 puppets has been severed. 10 incomparably precious puppets have been destroyed by Qin Yun. If they return to Xian Domain, they don't know how they will report back. Long Shengquang and the other Xian Domain geniuses are also dumbstruck, because even martial kings cannot beat up Vajra puppets to this extent. The black gas in the battle stage dispersed. The golden crystal grains floating in the air also slowly dropped down. It looks like a shining, golden, hazy drizzle. It is very beautiful. After Jian Shitian removed the barrier, he sensed a vibrating power, as well as a kind of power that inscription masters are very familiar with. Is this alchemy power? This guy can actually use alchemy power in battle. What kind of dreadful alchemy rune is this? Could it be that he has mastered alchemy totem? It must be like this. Qin Yun has an alchemy totem. No matter how strong Vajra puppets are, they are supported by the totem runes inside their bodies. But Qin Yun used the power of alchemy totem and combined it with vibration power. He can penetrate into the Vajra puppets' bodies and destroy them. This is a very ingenious use of power. Qin Yun doesn't have alchemy totem, but he has alchemy moon rune. This kind of rune has already been branded into his bones. Originally, he wanted to use it to refine tools. He didn't expect that it would be so destructive to puppets. This bastard Qin Yun, return our Vajra puppets. Xian Domain, old man, furiously shouted. You think you're right? Jian Shitian said with sneer. Xian Domain people are also immediately speechless because just now they were the ones who secretly controlled the Vajra puppets to attack Qin Yun. Everyone can see that Qin Yun is surrounded by Vajra puppets. If he doesn't resist, he will be killed. Long Shengquang said with sneer. No wonder Qin Yun could destroy Vajra puppets. He was just opportunistic and used alchemy power to restrain puppets. Yu Zhenchen clenched his teeth and said, Qin Yun made us lose so many Vajra puppets. I must tear him to shreds on the battle stage. Qin Yun has advanced. There are less than 50 martial monarchs who can enter the next round. Qin Yun walked out of the battle stage with a smile on his face. Actually, he only killed 1 Vajra puppet just now. Other 8 Vajra puppets were taken away by him and thrown into the 9-Sun Divine Soul's 3rd pearl so that Yao Feng can erase their consciousness. In other words, as long as he makes some slight improvements later, those 8 priceless Vajra puppets will be his. This is also the reason why Qin Yun is smiling so happily, because he likes it the most when his opponents give him gifts. Jian Shitian yelled. Tomorrow there will be martial arts competition. Participating martial monarchs will fight against each other. Tomorrow the martial arts competition will begin. Everyone is looking forward to it endlessly. Qin Yun looked at Yang Shuriwei and saw that her eyes are filled with smile and appreciation. Jian Rian walked over and said with smile, Brother Yun, it seems like we can't use common sense to look at you. You're not even at Xian Martial Realm, yet you are so awesome. Just like after entering Xian Martial Realm, and cultivating Xiandao core, one can release weak aura of Xiandao power. Qin Yun doesn't have this kind of aura, so with one look people can tell that he is not at Xian martial realm. Only Jian Linglong and the others know that Qin Yun has already broken through and his strength is even more formidable than they imagined. Qin Yun, I did not expect you to be so strong. You better not meet me in tomorrow's competition. I will beat you until you cry. Jin Nanhu confidently laughed and then left the battle stage. Qin Yun followed Bao Changshu and others to stay in the Sword Immortal Villa. Next day arrived very quickly. Qin Yun arrived at the battle stage before daybreak and saw that the spectator seats are filled with people. After arriving, he realized that majority of the spectators did not go back. They stayed here for the night to rest, because when they go back, they have to pay a new fee. Qin Yun is at the side of the battle stage, waiting for all the participants to arrive. Jian Rian and Jian Nanhu also arrived very early. After they arrived, they began chatting with Qin Yun. Finally, I'm going to fight with others. My origin sword is already unable to endure the thirst and hunger. Jian Nanhu released his origin sword. The origin sword condensed from Xiandao core is a very strong Xian tool. It can even be compared to a Dao tool. These sword cultivators are simply breaking the rules in this kind of competition where weapons cannot be used. However, no one could say anything about them. The sky was bright, and everyone had arrived. Qin Yun and Yang Shiyue are standing together, waiting to grab the pearl and decide their opponent. And this kind of method is what Qin Yun likes the most because he can control his opponent. Chapter 779. Xian Domain Genius's Long Xinquang is the first to go up and draw a pearl. He got the number 7 pearl. Altogether, there are 48 people. There are 24 battles. Soon after, other Xian Domain Genius Martial Monarchs went up to draw pearls. Big Sister Yang, do you want to fight Xian Domain Martial Monarchs? Qin Yun asked Yang Shiyue through sound transmission. No need to fight them first. Let's see what happens next. Yang Shiyue heard Qin Yun's question and realized that he can control those pearls. Jian Shitian patted the chest, and the pearls fell out from a hole. Qin Yun used his mental power and mysterious penetration divine ability to control the pearls falling out. When it is Yang Shiyue's turn to go up and draw pearls, Qin Yun arranged for a weak-long family disciple to fight against her. Jian Rian's opponent is also weak. And when it is Jian Nanhu's turn, under Qin Yun's control, Jian Nanhu grabbed the number 7 pearl. Haha, Long Xinquang, you are finished. Jian Nanhu really did not expect that he would actually grab the number 7 pearl. He very happily raised it up high and laughed heartily at Long Xinquang. Jian Shitian also feels that this is too coincidental. His grandson actually fought against Long Xinquang so quickly. Qin Yun's pearl is number 15. The other person who grabbed the number 15 pearl is precisely Yu Zhinshin. Yu Zhinshin is also incomparably pleasantly surprised. He did not expect to fight against Long Xinquang. Qin Yun is not very clear about Long Xinquang's strength, so he cannot fight against Long Xinquang for now. Instead, he arranged for Jian Nanhu to go up and probe him. He feels that with Jian Nanhu's strength, even if he is not Long Xinquang's opponent, he can still force Long Xinquang to use his true strength. Long Xinquang knows this kind of strange, hidden energy is also the most dreadful. Only Qin Yun can catch this kind of hidden energy. 4 battle stages appeared on the competition stage, for battles can be held at the same time. Yang Shiyue's pearl is number 3, so she is in the first group. In the first group, there are 2 genius martial monarchs from Xian Domain. Their opponents are Long family disciples and also Jian family disciples. After Yang Shiyue walked on the battle stage, her entire person suddenly changed. Originally, she only looked cold, but now, she was suddenly filled with killing intent. Her beautiful eyes were filled with killing intent. She is not the least bit concealing her killing intent, because her opponent was a disciple of the Long family. When Yang Shiyue was in the remote Moon Mountain range, she had been injured by the people from the Long family. Furthermore, It was the Long family that chased after her the most. She originally had no interest in this kind of martial arts competition, but when she heard that a genius disciple of the Long family had appeared, she came. The reason she participated in this kind of martial arts competition was for the sake of revenge. She wanted to let everyone know that the consequences of offending her, Yang Shiryu, were very serious. The Long family was a huge force. There were many disciples, but very few genius disciples. Today, the disciples of the Long family who could go on stage were all extremely outstanding. In this kind of martial arts competition, other than the use of weapons, there were not many restrictions. You could kill people, and you could also abuse others. As long as his opponent didn't admit defeat, he could continue to attack. Therefore, participating in this kind of competition was basically a battle of life and death. Over the years, many great powers had fought each other because of this kind of martial arts competition. There were also many geniuses who perished while participating in this kind of competition. For many people, those who died on the martial stage were not geniuses, but stepping stones for geniuses. This was also the reason why the audience was so excited, because it is very likely that they will see geniuses perish. This kind of matter is something that ordinary martial artists are very happy to see. High and aloof geniuses are normally domineering, tyrannical, and condescending. Therefore, many people want to see these geniuses perish. After all, they're not the ones dying. Some people also said that it doesn't matter if one's talent in martial arts is lacking. The most important thing is to live long enough. Only by living long enough can they see geniuses of the past fall. In the end, living long is the most important thing. This is also what many cultivators pursue. Although Yang Shiryu's entire body is filled with intense killing intent, it did not cause her opponents to feel fear. She is a woman. In many people's eyes, no matter how strong a woman's killing intent is, it is just that. That Long family disciple is called Long Shuayun. He is very tall, more than 2 meters tall. His body is not sturdy, and he is wearing black clothes. Therefore, he looks like a bamboo pole. So long as one is a disciple of a large family, he is not unfamiliar with the name Long Shuayun. Jian Rian said in low voice, "Brother Yun, this Long Shuayun has twin dragon martial spirits, and they are even authentic dragon martial spirits. His most awesome aspect is that he has 3 Xian Dao cores, because he condensed a 3rd Xian Dao core through the fusion of twin dragon Xian Dao cores." Qin Yun exclaimed in admiration and said, "It sounds truly mystical. That is why Long Shuayun's Xian Dao power is very dreadful." Jian Rian said, "Big Sister Yang should be able to take him down." Qin Yun is not a bit worried about Yang Shiryu. After all, she used to be an immortal, the young master of Guanghan Palace. She also possesses Nether Moon martial spirit. 4 battle stages have been prepared. Barriers have also been opened. Following the sound of bell, the battle has begun. Everyone is paying close attention to Yang Shiryu's battle. Because Yang Shiryu is an influential person, she obtained the Star Lord inscription spirit inside the remote Moon Mountain range by herself and hid inside for many days, causing many great factions people to inexplicably die inside. And after she came out of the remote Moon Mountain range, it means that the Star Lord inscription spirit is still in her hands. Although there are rumors saying that Yang Shiryu is Qin Yun's lover, nobody can verify this point. Therefore, nobody knows whether or not the Star Lord inscription spirit is in Qin Yun's hands or not. Beauty Yang, I won't kill you. I will only make you speechless and then let you taste my gentleness. Long Shuayun's eyes revealed evil light. He licked his lips, then spread his arms, and 3 purple gold furious dragons rushed out of his body. Roar, roar, roar. The 3 purple gold furious dragons bared their fangs and brandished their claws. They roared and rushed towards Yang Shiryu. What caused people to be shocked is that these 3 dragons are not illusory. They look like real dragons. You want to capture me with just these 3 smelly bugs? Yang Shiryu sneered. Black gas suddenly rushed out from her lily-white palm. After the furious dragons flickered with purple gold light, Yang Shiryu also suddenly disappeared. The three dragons that had rushed over suddenly stopped moving because they had lost their target. The movement technique Yang Shiryu used is Qin Yun's passing shadow extinction breath. Long Shuayun promptly released his mental power to the limit to sense the fluctuation all around. When he sensed it, Yang Shiryu already appeared behind him. Roar! Long Shuayun immediately sensed an unprecedented danger. His body fiercely trembled and released dragon energy. Many big and small dragons appeared in a flash and wrapped around Long Shuayun. Everyone feels this is very funny. Long Shuayun, who was very arrogant just a moment ago, has turned into a turtle in the blink of an eye and wrapped himself up tightly. Yang Shiryu attacked with her palm. The vibration sound is precisely the mournful dragon roar. This is the special sound of Extinction Dragon Palm. Qin Yun asked Yang Shiryu to guide him in cultivating 9 Extinction Heart Sutra. So Yang Shiryu has also mastered this martial art. It is Extinction Dragon's 7 palms. Moreover, she can use it so easily. Qin Yun is secretly shocked, because it is very difficult for him to use Extinction Dragon 7 palms. Normally, he would not use it easily. What caused Qin Yun to be most shocked is that both of Yang Shiryu's palms are condensing the palm power of Extinction Dragon's 7 palms. Boom! Her palm descended. Countless berserk dragons roared, and purple-gold light rays burst out. The purple-gold dragons on Long Shuayun's body completely shattered. Even the heavily wrapped Long Shuayun coughed out blood due to the impact of the palm attack. He promptly dodged far away. His expression is filled with fear. Long Shuayun is very unwilling to concede, just like this, but he is also very afraid of death. Just as he was about to concede, Yang Shiryu's other palm attack arrived. The red palm energy arrived as fast as lightning, bringing along a mournful dragon roar. Boom! The palm energy arrived in a flash and sent Long Shuayun flying. While Long Shuayun is being attacked by the palm energy, the Extinction Dragon Palm's power entered his body and tore apart his formidable immortal body. Puff! A muffled sound echoed. Long Shuayun's body suddenly exploded. The tattered fragments hit the barrier and then slowly slid down along with the barrier. It appeared. Finally, a genius has fallen. Spectators became quiet in amazement for a moment and then burst into a burst of cheers. Long Shuayun died without an intact corpse. Jian Ruyan's scalp turned numb looking at this scene. Yang Shiryu's strength is much more dreadful than she imagined. Qin Yun is not surprised at all. He only feels that Guang Han Palace's women, whether it is past life or current life, they are all ruthless characters. Long family people are furious. They can only shout and scream. Everyone knows that back then Long family was the vanguard who hunted down Yang Shiryu and even seriously injured her. Now Yang Shiryu is not holding back. It is very normal. When Yang Shiryu walked down from the battle stage, Jian Shitian and a few other Jian family half-immortals are protecting her. Originally, the Sword Martial Assembly is a contest between Long family and Jian family. Now that a Long family disciple has been killed, it is something that Jian family is very happy to see. Therefore, they will protect the people who oppose Long family. This will make Long family people's expression even more unsightly. The first round of battles on the 4 battle stages have also ended. Next is the second round. Everyone is looking forward to the second round because it is the battle between Jian Nanhu and Long Shenquang. Jian Nanhu and Long Shenquang are also looking forward to the battle. Jian Nanhu wants to fight Long Shenquang very much. I'm only fulfilling his wish. I hope he can win. Qin Yun said in his heart. Here, perhaps only Qin Yun understands Jian Nanhu's strength the most. Although they have not met for several years, he feels that Jian Nanhu's progress is not very big. Jian Shitian is also looking forward to this battle very much, because Jian Nanhu is his grandson. He is also somewhat apprehensive in his heart. Long Shenquang is after all a genius sent by Xian Domain. He is also a Long family member. He surely has some outstanding aspect to be valued by Xian Domain. Jian Shitian rang a large bell. The battle has begun. Long Shenquang is standing on his spot, his brows creased, and the entire battle stage suddenly trembled. Jian Nanhu also promptly released his origin sword. Then, with a loud shout, his tall and sturdy body rushed out with a burst of white light. It is as if countless illusory swords overflowed. Long Shenquang is still standing on his spot. His luxurious golden carved clothes are fluttering. His whole body is flickering with golden light. Purple, gold, and red, three-colored light rays condensed all around. Chapter 780. Two swords and one Jian Nanhu's expression is very grave. He tightly held his origin sword. With heavy steps, he pointed his sword at Long Shenquang and rushed over. Boom, boom, boom. Jian Nanhu's advancing speed is very slow. Every time he steps on the ground, it is as if his feet weighed 10,000 jin, causing the battle stage to shake and tremble. And what caused people to be shocked is that when Jian Nanhu rushed over, the clothes on his upper body suddenly tore. His skin split open and blood and flesh flew out. In the blink of an eye, he turned into a bloody man. Ka ka ka. At the same time, Jian Nanhu's bones broke. The origin sword in his hand also suddenly exploded. Who? The exploding natal sword surged out like a gust of wind. Jian Nanhu also stopped and shouted in a low voice, I admit defeat. Brother who? Jian Rian shouted. Qin Yun frowned and exchanged glances with Yang Shiryu. She also frowned slightly, and her eyes were filled with seriousness. All of a sudden, the disciples of the Long family and the forces of the Long family alliance burst into cheers. Long Shenquang, Long Shenquang, Long Shenquang is unparalleled. Long Shenquang is unparalleled. Genius Long Shenquang, Genius Long Shenquang. Many people are shocked seeing Long Shenquang's dreadful power. Jian Nanhu was publicly acknowledged as the strongest disciple of the Jian family, but now he was defeated so miserably. Jian Shirtian promptly removed the barrier and began healing Jian Nanhu. Qin Yun also walked over and secretly probed. He discovered that the bones in Jian Nanhu's upper body are almost shattered. Jian Nanhu is also an immortal disciple who cultivated an immortal body. Furthermore, he is heavily nurtured by the Jian family. He has a lot of cultivation resources, and his body is also very strong. But just now, he was defeated by Long Shenquang, who was standing motionless. Humph, you overestimate yourself. But I have to say, Jian family's geniuses are pretty good. Otherwise, they would have already turned into fragments. Long Shenquang's voice is filled with disdain. It spread throughout the entire battle stage. Long Shenquang glanced at Qin Yun. A trace of ruthlessness flashed through his eyes. Qin Yun, your end will be the same. Yu Jinshin below said with sneer, Boss Long, you killed Jian Nanhu. Qin Yun is mine. He won't stand a chance against you. After Long, Shenquang walked down from the battle stage. Long family and Xian domain elders came over one after another and unceasingly praised him. After Jian Nanhu ate a few pills, he slowly opened his eyes. When he saw Qin Yun, he said softly, Qin Yun, that guy is very strong. His power unknowingly entered my body and tore my body apart from the inside. I know, Qin Yun said. Qin Yun, if you face him, you better be prepared to admit defeat at any time. I'm worried that you will really die in his hands. Jian Nanhu said, Thank you for your reminder. Rest well. Qin Yun walked over and patted Jian Nanhu's shoulder. Qin Yun was in the 4th round. It was not his turn yet. In the 3rd round, it was Jian Rian's turn. As a disciple of the Jian family, Jian Rian went to the Immortal Weapon City. Furthermore, her relationship with Qin Yun is very good. She is also very powerful, so she has received much attention. And now, the Jian family's momentum has greatly decreased because their general, Jian Nanhu, has been defeated. The Jian family doesn't have any experts. Although Jian Rian's strength can be considered very strong, the Jian family doesn't have much hope for her. Everyone feels that the only one who has the most hope to defeat Long Shenquang is Yang Shiryu. Yang Shiryu is from Demon Moon Island. Demon Moon Island and Jian family are allies. If Yang Shuriwei can defeat Long Xinquang, Jian family will feel a bit better. Jian Rian's opponent is also from the Long family. Now, other than Qin Yun and Yang Shuriwei, the rest are either from Jian family, Long family, or Xian domain's geniuses. It is very normal for Jian family and Long family's disciples to meet. And although Long family's disciple doesn't look like much, he is quite famous in the Soaring Dragon state and is also an immortal disciple. Ever since Qin Yun carved sword totem runes on Jian Rian's body, Jian Rian cultivated sword Xian body. Later on, under Bing Xing and Bao Changshuo's focused nurturing, she cultivated sword immortal body. Only a few people know about this matter. Even Jian Shitian didn't know about this matter. And Jian Rian's strongest point is the sword totem runes on her body. She also comprehended some sword totem martial arts from them. Jian Rian, you still dare to come up? Did you see Jian Nanhu's miserable appearance? That short and stout Long family man said with sneer. This man's name is Long Dipin. He is very short but very stout. He looks like a rock. He is wearing blue leather clothes. There are many dragon patterns engraved on it. Most of the Long family disciples' clothes have dragon patterns engraved on them. Jian Rian is also wearing plain white clothes. The origin sword in her hand is flickering alternately with black and white. Qin Yun did not expect that after not seeing Jian Rian for a few years, she would be able to fuse two origin swords into one. Because Jian Nanhu was defeated, Jian Rian is very angry now. After being provoked by the opponent's words, her anger rose even more, and she released a threatening sword aura. Yang Shuriwei sent voice transmission to Qin Yun. Yuelon said that you carved sword totem runes on her body and let her cultivate sword body. I also discussed this matter with Bing Xing. It should be Bing Xing who taught her to fuse two swords into one. This way, she can concentrate her power even more. A few years ago, Bing Xing often guided Jian Rian's cultivation inside the immortal weapon fantasy field. Therefore, Jian Rian's strength is also not weak. After the bell rang, Jian Shitian's heart also became slightly heavy. Jian Nanhu is already seriously injured. He also did not want to see the Jian family disciples suffer another setback. Long Dipin looks like a big rock, but his movement speed is not slow. He is very agile, and his movement technique is strange. In an instant, he arrived behind Jian Rian. Also at this moment, Jian Rian's body was tied up by many small snake-like black ropes. "Beauty, let me touch you." Long Dipin smiled wretchedly and extended his hand towards Jian Rian's lower back. Just when he thought that he could do whatever he wanted to Jian Rian, a long sword with alternating black and white flickering suddenly appeared behind Jian Rian. With a fierce slash, it cut off Long Dipin's hand. Ah! Long Dipin also screamed in pain. That sword also quickly chopped the dragon snake rope on Jian Rian's body. The strange thing is that the sword is randomly slashing at Jian Rian, but it can't hit her body. That's because Jian Rian's origin sword is perfectly compatible with her body. No one would have thought that Jian Rian's origin sword would be so strange. It directly came out from her body and started moving nimbly like a limb. Furthermore, it is very sharp and instantly cut off Long Dipin's hand. After Jian Rian escaped, she held the origin sword in her hand and stabbed forward. The long sword also suddenly left Jian Rian's hand and flew out. Long Dipin did not bother to pick up the severed hand and quickly dodged. Jian Rian originally had a mental sword and origin sword. Now that they have fused, he can also use his mind to control the sword to attack flexibly. Her origin sword is flying very fast. Long Dipin can only tilt his head to dodge. He thought that he would be able to successfully dodge it. Who would have thought that the sword would suddenly separate and turn into a black and white sword? In an instant, it pierced through his head. The audience also burst into exclamations. Originally, no one thought highly of the Jian family girl, but now she is counterattacking again and again. "Wretched bastard, you actually want to touch me?" Jian Rian cursed in a low voice, and then controlled the two swords to become bigger. The enlarged sword instantly exploded Long Dipin's head. Then, the two swords fused together again. Xiao. Jian Rian controlled her origin sword and pierced Long Dipin's body back and forth, creating many holes. Another Long family disciple died, and he was also killed by a woman. The Long family people hate Jian Rian to death. Jian Shirtian finally heaved a sigh of relief. Jian family people also recovered a bit of their morale. At least Jian Rian is not as weak as they imagined. After Jian Rian walked down the stage, she immediately rushed towards Qin Yun. Just as she was about to pass by Yu Jinshin suddenly extended his leg and tripped Jian Rian, causing her to fall forward. Qin Yun promptly flew over and supported Jian Rian. Jian Rian suddenly turned around and said angrily, "Yu Jinshin, you multi-legged bastard." Qin Yun said indifferently, "This is his problem. I will help him cure it. As long as he dies, this problem will no longer exist." Yu Jinshin chuckled and said, "I'm just joking with you. Besides, you're so powerful, yet you were tripped by me. This doesn't match your formidable strength. You are a formidable martial monarch, yet you were tripped by someone else." Qin Yun said with sneer, "That's because no one expected that you, a martial monarch, would be such a lowly ruffian." Yu Jinshin glanced at Yang Shuriwei and said, "Qin Yun, you are just being stubborn now. Wait a moment, I will make you unable to even speak." "Brother Yun, don't bother with this kind of scoundrel." Jian Rian promptly pulled Qin Yun to the side. Yu Jinshin is indeed a ruffian. He tripped people with his leg or spat at them. He doesn't have any elegance at all, yet he is proud of it. He is simply shameless to the extreme. Finally, it is time for the fourth match. Qin Yun and Yu Jinshin also walked onto the stage. In the first few matches, half of the Long family and Jin family disciples won. Their strength was equally matched. All the Xian domain geniuses won, and their opponents were seriously injured by them. Yu Jinshin is also the last Xian domain genius to go on stage. Long Shunquan's expression is calm as he said, "If younger brother you get serious, I will be a bit afraid of him. Qin Yun is being targeted by him. He will undoubtedly die." Another Xian domain genius laughed loudly and said, "As long as he admits defeat, he won't die." But facing brother Yu, Qin Yun can't even shout. Qin Yun is standing on the stage. The fury in his heart is indescribably ignited. He felt that seeing Jian Rian tripped, it is impossible for him not to be angry in his heart. However, he is suppressing his anger. He wants to fuse his anger and formidable power on the stage and release them together. Jian Rian is also somewhat worried about Qin Yun because she recalled Jian Nanhu's miserable defeat. Chapter 781. Two Inscription Spirits. Chapter 781. Two Inscription Spirits. Qin Yun deliberately manipulated him to compete with Yu Jinshin in order to take revenge for what happened that day. Yu Jinshin is a sinister and despicable person. He is very dangerous. In the future, he will definitely be a great enemy. Just now, he deliberately provoked Jian Rian. He is simply shameless to the extreme. Qin Yun walked onto the battle stage. Yu Jinshin is also standing opposite him. The people on the other three battle stages have not finished fighting yet, so they need to wait for those three battle stages to finish and then start the fourth round together. Xian domain people are not worried about Yu Jinshin's strength. Although Qin Yun killed many Vajra puppets before, he used alchemy power. Yu Jinshin stood on the battle stage and looked at Qin Yun with an arrogant expression. He asked, "Qin Yun, you also went to the remote Moon Mountain range before, right?" Qin Yun replied, "So what?" Yu Jinshin looked at Yang Shuriwei below the battle stage and asked again. Yang Shuriwei is not an inscription master, and her relationship with you is extremely good. Is the Star Lord Inscription Spirit in her hands in your hands? This is also the doubt of many older generation. Yang Shuriwei is below the battle stage. Because there is a barrier separating them, she cannot send voice transmission to Qin Yun. She only shook her head slightly, telling Qin Yun not to admit it. "That's right, the Star-Lord Inscription Spirit is in my hands." Qin Yun replied loudly. If he doesn't say this, then Yang Shuriwei will face even greater pressure in the future. This immediately caused many Tao inscription masters to be astonished, envious, and jealous. Qin Yun previously had the wildfire inscription spirit, and now he has the Star Lord inscription spirit. This guy's life is too good. The Star Lord inscription spirit is in his hands. It seems like we won't need to target Yang Shuriwe in the future. Could it be that he said this on purpose? To protect Yang Shuriwe? This brat actually has the Star Lord inscription spirit in his hands. Not to mention the powers hostile to Immortal Weapon City. Even some of the Jin family's Tao inscription masters have evil thoughts in their hearts. Yu Jinshin laughed sinisterly and said, Qin Yun, I will force you to hand over the Star Lord inscription spirit. Qin Yun smiled faintly. I have already fused with the Star Lord inscription spirit. If I die, the Star Lord inscription spirit will also die with me. Even if you capture me, you won't be able to extract the Star Lord inscription spirit. An old man from the Xian domain shouted loudly. Impossible. Previously, you have fused with the wildfire inscription spirit. Without an interval of over 100 years, you cannot fuse with a second inscription spirit. This will cause conflict. Long Family's half-immortal also shouted, Qin Yun, you want to deceive us? You are still too inexperienced. You don't even know this bit of common sense. You are not worthy of possessing the Star Lord inscription spirit. Qin Yun laughed loudly. The ones who are not worthy of inscription spirit are you. I can fuse with 2 inscription spirits in a short period of time. That is my ability. Yu Jinshin said coldly. Qin Yun, you still haven't fused with the Star Lord inscription spirit. Don't play tricks here. You can't deceive us. Qin Yun suddenly took out a talisman paper and quickly carved a set of star runes on it. It only took a very short period of time. My talisman is carved with star rune. Qin Yun finished speaking and immediately threw it at Yu Jinshin. Yu Jinshin promptly caught it and saw that the talisman suddenly burst out with star fire and issued a boom sound. This explosion caused Yu Jinshin's hand to become red and swollen. Seeing this scene, those old men from the Xian domain sucked in a mouthful of cold air. Those are fire attribute star runes. Qin Yun has wildfire and Star Lord inscription spirits, so his carving speed is very fast. The precision is also guaranteed, therefore its might is very strong. As long as one is a Tao inscription master, it is not difficult to see the might of Qin Yun's talisman. Yu Jinshin can only feel that his hand is burning with pain. Qin Yun has truly fused with the Star Lord inscription spirit, an inscription master who possesses 2 inscription spirits at the same time. This kind of potential is simply terrifying. Divine Inscription Palace's people are naturally here. They did not participate in the dispute between Jin family and Long family, so they did not send anyone to participate. And now, Divine Inscription Palace's upper echelons are incomparably jealous of Qin Yun's inscription spirit. What they don't know is that apart from Wildfire and Star-Lord inscription spirits, Qin Yun also has Beast King, Yu Ji, and Tao Lord. If they knew, maybe they would go crazy from anger. Yu Jinshin suddenly laughed wildly. Qin Yun, you should not have let me know that you have fused with Star-Lord inscription spirit. Do you know that we can no longer obtain the Star-Lord inscription spirit, and you no longer have any value in living? In the past, they could at least think of a way to capture Qin Yun and use him to threaten Yang Shuriwe. But now, Qin Yun has fused with the Star-Lord inscription spirit. Nobody can obtain it. Xian Domain and Long Family's half-immortals also have sad expression. They feel that they have lost the chance to obtain the Star-Lord inscription spirit. You all make me very angry. Star-Lord inscription spirit originally did not belong to you, but you always think that it is yours. Qin Yun said in cold voice. Qin Yun, if I kill a genius inscription master like you who possesses 2 inscription spirits, my name will surely go down in history for all eternity. Yu Jinshin became even more happy. He laughed loudly and said. Qin Yun sighed. A3, killing trash like you. I don't feel any sense of accomplishment. In a few days, nobody will remember me. This is the disparity between trash like you and me. Qin Yun, Don't think that Yang Shuriwe will be fine after revealing that you possess Star-Lord Inscription Spirit, right? Don't worry, I will definitely use the most brutal method to kill her. Yu Jinshin is also infuriated by Qin Yun. He ferociously looked at Yang Shuriwe and said, "This kind of beauty, her entire body is extremely beautiful. As long as I eat her bite by bite, I will be satisfied." Qin Yun fiercely clenches fists. Although he knows that Yang Shuriwe is not easy to deal with, after hearing Yu Jinshin's words, he is secretly worried and even more angry. Yang Shuriwe is watching from below. Her face is also expressionless. She has already decided that if Qin Yun suffers any injury on the battle stage, she will not hesitate to pay any price to kill those Xian domain geniuses. Spectators also want to see if Qin Yun, an inscription master with 2 inscription spirits, can truly compare to Xian domain geniuses in terms of battle prowess. If his strength is truly formidable, then he is a super genius proficient in inscription martial Dao. Dong! The bell for the start of the battle rang. Yu Jinshin sinisterly laughed. His body transformed into many afterimages and jumped randomly on the battle stage. It is impossible to see where he is. Brother Yu's 10,000 Shadows Invincible Step is a Tier high-quality martial art. Moreover, he has cultivated it to perfection. Long Shenquang said with smile, "Even I cannot determine his whereabouts in a short period of time." Hearing Long Shenquang's voice, the spectators in the vicinity let out a burst of exclamation. Because 10,000 Shadows Invincible Step is a long-lost movement technique, they did not expect to see it here. Moreover, it is being used by a martial monarch. Yu Jinshin's afterimages are moving randomly all around the battle stage. They are moving randomly like the wind. It is impossible to determine his whereabouts. Even many martial kings and martial emperors don't know where Yu Jinshin is. However, Qin Yun knows. Qin Yun's nether moon mental power has been locked onto Yu Jinshin from the very beginning. Therefore, no matter how Yu Jinshin moves randomly, Qin Yun knows where he is. Qin Yun's brows suddenly creased. Yu Jinshin is attacking. He released his mental power to the extreme. In a split second, he sensed that the thing attacking him is a weapon. In that split second, he promptly dodged. On the battle stage, Yu Jinshin's afterimage also disappeared. Yu Jinshin is standing on the battle stage. He is also very shocked because now it is Qin Yun's turn to disappear. Qin Yun used Passing Shadow Extinction Breath Step. That guy actually has a weapon in his hand. It is a transparent short saber. It is very difficult to see with naked eyes. Qin Yun is secretly alarmed. The battle stage's barrier can sense weapons, but I can't find his saber. Long Shenquang and the other Xian domain geniuses are also secretly alarmed because Qin Yun clearly knows Yu Jinshin's position. Qin Yun suddenly appeared and let Ling Yuner release a supergravity. That supergravity ferociously enveloped Yu Jinshin's body. Yu Jinshin is extremely shocked in his heart in a split second because this strange power caught him unprepared. Opportunity is here. Qin Yun fiercely attacked with Extinction Dragon 7 palms from the sky. Along with a sorrowful dragon roar, the battle stage fiercely trembled. Now everyone can see that Qin Yun's palm strike is the same as the one Yang Shuriwe used before. Now they're even more certain that Qin Yun and Yang Shuriwe have a very close relationship. They actually learned this kind of dreadful martial arts together. Qin Yun's Extinction Dragon 7 palms has vast aura and ferocious might. It landed on Yu Jinshin's body. However, Yu Jinshin only coughed out a mouthful of blood. Boom! Yu Jinshin's body suddenly trembled. He released a very strange power and shook off the gravity. Then he raised his hand and shot out many energy streams. Hoo! Yu Jinshin threw a few punches at the distant Qin Yun. One after another, ferocious monster phantoms flew out and devoured Qin Yun in an instant. Qin Yun vigorously stamped his foot. His body trembled and released vibration power, shaking off those monster image. At this time, Yu Jinshin appeared in front of Qin Yun. His face is filled with sinister smile. Oh no! Qin Yun suddenly sensed something piercing his abdomen. It is a transparent long needle. It is a concealed weapon. He really did not expect that Yu Jinshin not only uses a transparent short knife, he also uses concealed weapons. Qin Yun, you can't move, right? You can't speak, right? Yu Jinshin clasped his hands behind his back, looked at Qin Yun, and laughed heartily. Qin Yun also stood motionless, looking at Yu Jinshin, who was laughing heartily. Yu Jinshin proudly shouted, "Everyone, please open your eyes wide and watch how I ravage an inscription master genius with 2 inscription spirits." At this time, Xian domain elders, Long Xinquang, and other geniuses all let out a long sigh of relief, because they know that Yu Jinshin's concealed weapon has succeeded. Yu Jinshin's concealed weapon is very brilliant. It did not pierce Qin Yun's abdomen. Instead, it pierced through Qin Yun's skin and entered his nether sun, similar to mysterious penetration divine ability. Yu Jinshin proudly walked in front of Qin Yun. Chapter 782. Xian Power Drum. When Yu Jinshin walked over, he did not expect that Qin Yun would be completely fine after being hit by the hidden weapon and even counterattack. This transparent hidden weapon has been specially refined, so it cannot be seen by people. It cannot even be sensed by the battle stage's barrier. This kind of brilliant tool, refining technique, can only be done by Xian domain inscription masters. After Yu Jinshin sensed that he was hit by the hidden weapon, his expression greatly changed. He wanted to move, but he cannot move. He cannot even speak. Spectators on the stage all thought that Qin Yun was hit by some strange martial arts and is unable to move. Therefore, they are all looking forward to Qin Yun being beaten up. But now, Yu Jinshin walked over and suddenly stopped and became motionless. "Ha!" Qin Yun vigorously slapped Yu Jinshin and sent him flying. Seeing this scene, Long Xinquang and other Xian domain geniuses' expression greatly changed. The one being beaten up is not Qin Yun, but Yu Jinshin. Those Xian domain old men looked at each other in dismay and shock. They all know that Yu Jinshin used a hidden weapon. Once this kind of hidden weapon is used, it is absolutely safe. However, Yu Jinshin failed, and it seems like he was hit by the hidden weapon. Yu Jinshin was sent flying and landed on the ground. Blood unceasingly overflowed from his mouth. It seems his injuries are very serious. "Bastard, you think nobody knows about your trick?" Qin Yun said with sneer in low voice. "Trash like you want to threaten big sister Yang?" Boom! Qin Yun flew over and fiercely landed on Yu Jinshin's thigh. Yu Jinshin's whole body is twitching in pain. His throat is making goo-goo-goo-goo sound, but he cannot make any sound. As long as he doesn't shout defeat, he can keep fighting. And Yu Jinshin's hidden weapon can paralyze his whole body. He cannot even speak. Qin Yun is also secretly apprehensive. This kind of poison is very dreadful. If he is hit, his end can be imagined. "Quickly stop. We concede." One Xian domain old man knows that Yu Jinshin is going to lose and promptly yelled. Bang! Qin Yun responded with a vigorous punch, ruthlessly punching Yu Jinshin's face, causing his face to distort. Boom, boom, boom. Qin Yun kicked Yu Jinshin up into the sky, then repeatedly punched the air. The fierce fist energy, accompanied by countless fist shadows, violently smashed Yu Jinshin's body. Yu Jinshin was, after all, a genius of the mysterious domain who had cultivated an immortal physique. He wouldn't be killed so easily. Qin Yun quickly stopped. Xian Domain's old man saw Yu Jinshin has been beaten to a point where he doesn't even look human anymore and loudly roared. Jian Shitian is indifferently watching. His expression is also incomparably cold. He is completely ignoring those Xian Domain people. Yu Jinshin fell to the ground, but he did not die. Go die. Qin Yun jumped into the sky and used piercing mountain splitting earth finger on the ground. Papa! A black light shot down from the sky, and with a crisp explosion, it hit Yu Jinshin's body. Who? After the explosion, a gust of wind blew and Yu Jinshin's body disappeared from the battle stage along with the gust of wind, turning into black dust. Yu Jinshin was dead. The genius martial monarch from the Xian domain actually died so miserably. Qin Yun's strength had completely shocked everyone present. The geniuses from Xian domain are all very strong. Long Xinquang easily defeated Jian Nanhu before, and this Yu Jinshin also looked very powerful, but now he died without even dregs remaining. Because everyone is too shocked, they sank into a short period of silence. Long Xinquang swallowed his saliva, tightly clenched his fists, and cursed in low voice. "Brother Yu, I will avenge you." "Big Brother Long, what is going on with Brother Yu? It is impossible for him to be defeated. Could it be that he did not use those things?" A Xian domain genius asked. "I don't know." Long Xinquang's brows are tightly creased. "I must make Qin Yun die so miserably." Yu Jinshin's crushing defeat is a blow to those arrogant Xian domain old men. Earlier, Jian Nanhu was defeated miserably by Long Xinquang, but he is still alive. This caused Jian family and ordinary domains factions to feel fear towards Xian domain's power. But now, Yu Jinshin has been killed by Qin Yun. Ordinary domains people suddenly feel that Xian domain's geniuses are not undefeatable. Jian Shitian removed the barrier. Xian domain's people landed with expression filled with anger. Jian Shitian is standing in front of Qin Yun. His attitude is very clear. He said in cold voice, "If you dare to touch Qin Yun, I will make sure that you won't be able to leave Sword Immortal Villa." Jian family held this sword martial assembly with great momentum, but because Jian Nanhu died miserably, they were ruthlessly slapped in the face. Now, Qin Yun is someone who can contend against Xian domain's geniuses. Jian family naturally wants to protect him. Qin Yun is from Immortal Weapon City. Immortal Weapon City and Jian family are allies. If Qin Yun wins, Jian family will be able to keep their face. A hunchbacked old man from Xian domain said in cold voice, "Jian Shitian, you also saw it. Qin Yun is only peak spirit martial realm, but he defeated a mid-stage Xian martial realm martial monarch. This is something that does not conform to common sense. Qin Yun must have used concealed weapons." Qin Yun secretly sneered his heart. The one who used concealed weapons was clearly Yu Jinshin. Moreover, it was provided by these elders. And now, the other party is a thief crying thief. "I never said I only have peak spirit martial realm cultivation. It is what you all think." Qin Yun said. "Could it be that you have entered Xian martial realm?" The hunchbacked old man said with sneer, "You deliberately said this to cover up the possibility of you using concealed weapons." Long family people also shouted loudly, "Everyone, come and judge. Qin Yun is a peak spirit martial realm martial master. How can he defeat a mid-stage Xian martial realm martial monarch? He is an inscription master, a tool refiner. He must have used a mysterious concealed weapon and not been discovered by us." There are many Long family allies among the spectator stand. Now they're all loudly shouting, "Jian Shitian, you want to side with Qin Yun? That's right, this sword martial assembly was originally held by you. You can do whatever you want. Forget it, we won't compete." Xian domain hunchbacked old man said with sneer, "Isn't it just to prove that I am Xian martial realm? This is very easy. You must have a tool to test Xian martial realm power. Just take it out and let me test it. Right?" Although Qin Yun is very angry in his heart, he is very calm. Long Xinquang also walked up. He is certain that Qin Yun does not have Xian martial realm cultivation. He shouted loudly, "I'm a mid-stage Xian martial realm martial monarch. I will test Xian Dao power with Qin Yun. If Qin Yun's Xian Dao power is lower than mine, then he must be lying." Yang Shuriwei also walked up and said with sneer, "Long Xinquang, who doesn't know how strong you are? Why should we use you as the standard to test?" Long Xinquang shouted loudly, "Yu Jinshin's strength is equal to mine. If Qin Yun can kill Yu Jinshin, then his Xian Dao power strength is equal to mine. As long as Qin Yun's Xian Dao power is not too different from mine, we will believe that he used true power. Long Xinquang, I also suspect that when you defeated Jian Nanhu, you used concealed weapons. Because Jian Nanhu's strength is equal to mine, if during the Xian Dao power test, The disparity between us is too big. Then you must have used concealed weapons. Qin Yun said with sneer. Qin Yun, you are truly confident. If your Xian Dao power is stronger than mine, I will also admit it. Long Shenquang laughed loudly and said. Xian domain people also took out a 2-meter wide large drum. Jian Shi inside also took out a similar large drum. This is a tool used to test Xian Dao power. Jian Shitian said. This is a traditional tool used to test Xian Dao power. The stronger the Xian Dao power, the more sound the drum will ring. A martial monarch who just entered Xian martial realm can use Xian Dao power drum to ring 10 times. Jian family and Xian domain people took out Xian Dao power drum to test twice. This is to prevent one side Xian power drum from being fake. Long Shenquang walked over and sent a palm strike towards their Xian domain Xian power drum. Dong, 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 dong. Continuous drum beat 53 times. This caused everyone to be endlessly shocked. He is only mid-stage Xian martial realm, yet he can make Xian power drum beat more than 50 times. This kind of Xian Dao power is comparable to late-stage Xian martial realm. It is even close to peak-stage Xian martial realm. Under normal circumstances, mid-stage Xian martial realm Xian Dao power's intensity is around 20 times, at most 30 times. Xian domain's martial Dao geniuses are truly dreadful. Qin Yun must have used concealed weapon, otherwise he would not have been able to defeat Yu Jinshin. Qin Yun still wants to surpass Long Shenquang. He truly doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Many people also began to express their doubts. Long Shenquang proudly smiled, and then also sent a palm strike towards Jian Shirqian's Xian power drum. This time a drum beat is a total of 54 times. Compared to before, it is one more time. Jian Shitian, Bao Changshu, and other people's expression is incomparably unsightly, because this result caused them to be extremely shocked. Jian Shitian is very clear that his grandson Jian Nanhu can only hit 40 times at most. Yang Shiyue's expression is calm. Although she doesn't know how strong Qin Yun is now, she can see Qin Yun's confident expression. Long Shenquang said in loud voice, everyone can see. This is the Xian Dao power of our Xian domain geniuses. Yu Jinshin Xian power is around 50 times. And Qin Yun can defeat Yu Jinshin. Clearly he used concealed weapon. Xian domain old man said with sneer. If Qin Yun truly used concealed weapon, then no matter what, we will make him pay with his life. Spectators stand immediately flared up. Many people are loudly cursing Qin Yun's shamelessness. Xian domain people's rhythm is not the least bit inferior. Qin Yun asked, Long Shenquang has this kind of Xian Dao power. Is it possible that he is late-stage Xian martial realm? Long Shenquang said with sneer, Qin Yun, if I am late-stage Xian martial realm, it is impossible for Jian Shitian and the others to not see it. Qin Yun nodded and said, in that case, if my Xian Dao power is stronger than yours, don't say that I am late-stage Xian martial realm. Qin Yun, are you still dreaming? Truly laughable. You want to be stronger than me with Xian Dao power? I'm the strongest among mid-stage Xian martial realm martial monarchs. Long Shenquang proudly sneered. Qin Yun arrived in front of Jian Shiyan's Xian power drum and prepared to start testing. Those people cursing Qin Yun also calmed down. Chapter 783. Things in third B. Qin Yun took a deep breath, secretly condensed his power, and then attacked with Extinction Dragon 7 Palms. The later the Extinction Dragon 7 Palms, the calmer it becomes. When Qin Yun attacked with Extinction Dragon 7 Palms, the palm wind brought along a sorrowful dragon roar. It is as if a huge dragon is crying out in despair. His palm landed on the big drum. Dong, dong, dong. The sound is neither fast nor slow. It continued rhythmically. Everyone is calmly listening and counting in their heart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It actually surpassed 10 echoes. It means that Qin Yun has entered Xian martial realm. Qin Yun had only struck the Xian energy drum once, but the drum's surface constantly produced sounds. Soon, it had exceeded 20 sounds. Before, Qin Yin was peak spirit martial realm, and now he has entered Xian martial realm in a few days. Moreover, his Xian Dao power has surpassed many mid-stage Xian martial realm. This is unbelievable. When Long Shengquang counted to 30 echoes, he secretly became nervous and even more shocked. Qin Yun's Xian Dao power is not weak at all. Very soon, 40 echoes passed, and the Xian power drum did not stop. The drum sound is still vigorous and powerful. Dong, 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 rhythmically vibrated and continued. 50 echoes. 50 echoes. And the drum sound is not showing any sign of weakening. Although everyone is extremely shocked, they did not make any sound. They are calmly listening to the drum sound reverberating through the battle stage and seriously counting. 55 echoes surpassed Long Shengquang. Long Shengquang's arrogant expression has already disappeared, replaced with shock and hatred. Qin Yun is only initial stage Xian martial realm, but his Xian Dao power has surpassed Long Shengquang. After 65 echoes, the drum sound did not continue. It surpassed Long Shengquang by more than 10 echoes. Long Shengquang, Jian Nanhu's strength is equal to mine, and you easily defeated him. Did you use concealed weapons? Qin Yun asked in a loud voice. Just now, Long Shengquang and Xian Domain people used the same words to question Qin Yun. But now, Long Shengquang is being questioned by Qin Yun instead. Long Shengquang retreated a few steps. He finds it hard to believe that Qin Yun's Xian Dao power is so strong. Xian Domain old man said in cold voice, Qin Yun, you still have not used our Xian power drum to test. Qin Yun walked over and attacked with Extinction Dragon 7 palms. This time, he used even greater power. He was also worried that the Xian Domain's people would secretly play tricks on him. Everyone continued to count the drum beats. Not long after, the result came out. It stopped at the 68th ring. Qin Yun's Xian Dao power is already comparable to a peak Xian martial realm martial monarch. The people in the audience seats felt their faces burning hot because they had just bombarded Qin Yun as a swindler, saying that Qin Yun used a concealed weapon. And now, Qin Yun's Xian Dao power is unimaginably strong. You use a martial skill to increase Xian Dao power. Long Shengquang is extremely furious in his heart because he has been completely crushed by Qin Yun in terms of Xian Dao power. You can also use it. Test again. Qin Yun said with sneer. When Long Shengquang attacked just now, he used very strong martial arts and only managed to hit 50 echoes. Therefore, the result will be the same if he tests it again. Those elders are very clear that not only Qin Yun's Xian Dao power is very strong, the martial arts and cultivation techniques he used are also very strong. That is why his Xian Dao power can increase by several times. Long Shengquang, did you use a concealed weapon? Qin Yun asked in cold voice. Jian Nanhu is a rare genius of the Jian family, yet you easily defeated him. This is truly suspicious. Many Jian family disciples also loudly shouted, suspecting that Long Shengquang used a concealed weapon. This caught Long Shengquang unprepared. Long Shengquang's confidence has been crushed by Qin Yun. Now he has suffered a double blow and is completely silent. Xian Domain's elders are not to be trifled with. The hunchbacked old man said, wait until Jian Nanhu recovers, then let him test his Xian Dao power. If his Xian Dao power is the same as Qin Yun's, it means that Long Shengquang used a concealed weapon. Now Xian Domain's people can no longer doubt that Qin Yun used a concealed weapon, because Qin Yun's Xian Dao power is inconceivably strong. Jian Rian also did not expect that Qin Yun would break through to Xian martial realm. Moreover, his Xian Dao power is so dreadful. This is indeed subverting common sense. Long Shengquang's Xian Dao power intensity has opened the eyes of many ordinary realms elders. They have a new understanding of the potential of power. And Qin Yun's Xian power intensity has reached a heaven-defying stage. This way, many people feel that Long Shengquang is not Qin Yun's match. Originally, Some people suspected that Qin Yun is late stage or peak stage Xian martial realm. But if it is true, then Xian Domain's people will certainly make a big fuss over this. Qin Yun will also not let Xian Domain's people get hold of this kind of weakness. Xian Domain's side has indeed lost this competition. They have lost thoroughly. Earlier, Jian Nanhu's defeat caused the entire Jian family and their allies to suffer a heavy blow. It made them realize the disparity between them and the Xian Domain. And now, Xian Domain's side has suffered a double blow. They always thought that this ordinary realm is lacking in resources and is inferior to their Xian Domain in all aspects. Now, Xian Domain's people have been beaten by Qin Yun to the point that they are beginning to doubt their lives. Qin Yun walked down from the battle stage, then glanced at those Xian Domain geniuses. His expression is filled with killing intent. Those Xian Domain geniuses don't dare to be arrogant anymore. They can only clench their teeth and glare at Qin Yun. Although Yu Jinshan lost, there are still many more competitions left they still have to fight. Not long after, today's competition ended. Total 24 people advanced to the next round, and the next competition will be held 3 days later. After the competition ended, Xian Domain and Long family's people hastily left the battle stage with their disciples. When they left, Qin Yun saw the expression of those Xian Domain's elders. Xiao Yun, those guys must have some tricks up their sleeves. You must be a bit more careful. Ling Yuner warned. I know. I will let big sister Yang and little sister Yin be careful. Qin Yun said. Jian Shirtan walked over, patted Qin Yun's shoulder, and said, Qin Yun, you don't need to worry. So long as you are inside the Sword Immortal Villa, we can guarantee your safety. I am worried that it will be like last time. The entire Sword Immortal Villa almost fell into enemy hands. Qin Yun said, I can't use my puppet now. If that kind of thing happens again, I won't be able to do anything. Jian Shirtian chuckled and said, Relax, we had the same experience last time, so we won't make that kind of mistake again. Last time they were attacked by Devil Xian Domain's forces because they were poisoned. Qin Yun said in low voice, Sword Sect Master, when I fought with Yu Jinshan, they indeed used concealed weapons. Yu Jinshan used a transparent needle and a transparent short knife. Although I can't see it, I can feel it. He is an inscription master, so his perception towards this aspect is very sharp. Those bastards, I knew that Brotherhood's defeat was not that simple. Jian Rian cursed in low voice after hearing this. Is there really such a thing? Jian Shirtian and other few Jian family half-immortals are also shocked after hearing this. Qin Yun spread out his palm and said, This is the fragment I collected. It belongs to that short knife. You guys go check it out and see what it is. After Jian Shirtian took the fragment, he can feel that it is an invisible fragment. From the outline, he can tell that it is a broken blade. Those bastards from Xian Domain, a Jian family half-immortal said in cold voice. Do you know what it is? Qin Yun promptly asked. It is a kind of special material. It is colorless and shadowless. Moreover, it can conceal runes within it. It is also a very rare material, so it is used to make small-scale weapons and concealed weapons. Jian family half-immortal pinched a fragment and cursed in low voice. They really use concealed weapons. They actually framed you. At this time, those older generation people admire Qin Yun even more. Not only he discovered that Xian Domain geniuses use concealed weapons, he also resolved the crisis just now. This caused many people to question whether Long Xinquang used concealed weapons or not. Your barrier must be improved. Otherwise, if this goes on, even more people will be tricked by them. Qin Yun said, I will extend the time of the next round of competition to improve the barrier. When the time comes, I will expose them on the spot. Jian Shirtian nodded his head. Qin Yun is also somewhat tired. He bid farewell to those elders and left with Bao Changshou and others. Yang Shuriwei also followed along. Old Mother Yun Yao also did not say anything, because now everyone knows that Qin Yun has fused with the Star Lord inscription spirit. Yang Shuriwei will not be watched by so many people. Others only know that Qin Yun has 2 kinds of inscription spirits, but Jian Linglong knows that Qin Yun has a Beast King inscription spirit. Therefore, she is also the most astonished. After returning, Qin Yun sat in the living room and ate the fruits Xiao Yuanmei gave him. Xiao Yun, you are truly reckless. I told you not to expose that you have Star Lord inscription spirit. Why didn't you listen to me? Yang Shuriwell lightly groaned in reproach and pinched Qin Yun's ear. Big sister Yang, I also don't want to give you too much pressure. What's more, I am usually in the Immortal Weapon Palace, with the protection of the Grand Elder. Nothing will happen. Qin Yun giggled and said. Yang Shuriwen naturally knows that Qin Yun is doing this for her own good. She just doesn't want Qin Yun to expose his Star Lord inscription spirit, because it will bring him even more trouble. Bao Changsho said with smile. Miss Yang, rest assured, with us here, Qin Yun will definitely not have any mishap. Let's not talk anymore. I want to rest. Today is really tiring. After Qin Yun finished speaking, he promptly entered his room and closed the door. The reason why Qin Yun is so anxious to enter his room is because his immortal graveyard diagram has moved. Siekaru has contacted him. After he returned to his room, he promptly opened the immortal graveyard diagram, and Siekaru's gentle voice transmitted over. Xiao Yun, have you been looking for me frequently during this period of time? Is there something urgent? Siekaru asked. Sister Kiru, I have entered Xian Martial Realm. After Qin Yun entered Xian Martial Realm, he also wanted to ask Yao Fong for the things inside the third pearl. However, Yao Fong still doesn't want to give them to him. Siekaru also said before that when Qin Yun enters Xian Martial Realm, she will let him do some things. Ah, you are too fast, Siekaru said in pleasant surprise. Chapter 784. Evil gods sacrifice. Hearing Qin Yun's wronged voice, Siekaru cannot help but chuckle a few times. Xiao Yun, maybe Yao Fong is just being angry and deliberately making you anxious. You have to be patient. Isn't your relationship with her better now? I also don't know what is going on with her. Qin Yun also feels that his relationship with Yao Fong is not bad. Yao Fong indeed helped him a lot before, but who knew that when he asked for the third pearl, Yao Fong wouldn't give it to him, saying that the time wasn't right yet. Sister Kiru, let's not talk about this anymore. Guess what I obtained in the Nether Moon Desolate Domain? Qin Yun said mysteriously. Isn't it the Nether Moon? Siekaru remembered that Qin Yun's biggest gain in the Nether Moon Desolate Domain was the Nether Moon. No, it is the Nether Spirit's Sacred Blade. Qin Yun said with smile. Ah, Netherworld, Great Emperor's Nether Spirit Sacred Blade. Siekaru is very amazed. Qin Yun told Siekaru everything that happened. It seems like the Netherworld Great Emperor is still alive. Xiao Yun, you can use the Nether Soul Sacred Blade to find the Netherworld Great Emperor. Siekaru said, Netherworld Great Emperor was plotted against by 2 Great Emperors. He must be very unwilling. He might even join our camp in the future. I will do my best to find the Netherworld Great Emperor. Qin Yun said. Soon after, Qin Yun told Siekaru about his cultivation situation. After Siekaru heard this, she happily smiled and said, Xiao Yun, you don't have to worry. In the future, you just need to let nature take its course and cultivate. Now that you have cultivated the immortal devil body, everything will be very stable. It's just that it will be more difficult to break through. Sister Kiru, you said that after I enter Xian Martial Realm, you want me to do something. What is it? Qin Yun asked. Find the Nether Sun Spirit. 9 suns have 9 souls and 9 spirits. Nether suns also have 9 souls and 9 spirits. Siekaru's voice also became serious. This were a Nether sun's 9 souls and 9 spirits. Qin Yun became very excited after hearing this. I only know that Nether sun's 9 souls were used to refine the 9 divine soul. The 9 souls of the Nether Sun are scattered throughout the 9 desolate. Siekaru said, The 9 divine spirit is in my hands, so I can roughly sense that one of the Nether Sun 9 spirits is inside the spirit desolate. Didn't you say you were participating in some sword martial assembly? After your martial art competition is over, I will guide you there. Siekaru said, 9 divine soul, so It is actually refined from Nether Sun 9 spirits. I thought it was refined from moon or something. Qingyun also wants to know what kind of Nether Sun 9 spirits are. I also use something related to the moon and the nether moon to refine it. Xiaoyun, the 9 divine soul, is a bit evil. That's why I didn't give it to you back then. It's also not suitable for men to use. Xie Qiru said, Sister Qiru, this is originally yours. Moreover, you gave me the 9 Sun divine spirit. I am very happy, Qingyun said with smile. The 9 Yang divine soul and the 9 Yin divine soul were originally yours, but let's not talk about this anymore. Xie Qiru's words caused Qingyun to feel incomparably shocked. Those 2 divine tools actually belonged to his previous life. He suddenly felt that his previous life must have had some kind of entanglement with Xie Qiru. Xiaoyun, the Nether Sun 9 spirits are very difficult to tame. You have the Nether Sun martial spirit, cultivated the Nether Sun, and obtained 2 Sun spirits. That's why I let you go find the Nether Sun spirits. Xie Qiru said, Sister Qiru, are the Nether Sun 9 spirits very useful to you? Qingyun asked. After you obtain the Nether Sun 9 spirits, my 9 Yin divine soul will become complete, and then help me take back my immortal devil's sacred body. Xie Qiru said. Qingyun is secretly apprehensive. Xie Qiru actually cultivated the immortal devil's sacred body. No wonder she was sealed. Xiaoyun, go talk to Yao Fong. Tell her that I asked her to take out those things. Tell her to give me face and give those things to you. Xie Qiru said again. Qingyun nodded. He hopes that it will be of some use. Then I will go rest. I want to adjust my current state and then guide you to find the Nether Sun 9 spirits. After Xie Qiru finished speaking, the immortal graveyard diagram became quiet again. Qingyun stored the immortal graveyard diagram and sent sound transmission to Yao Fong inside the 3rd pearl. Sister Yao Fong, I just contacted Sister Qiru. She said that she will guide me to find the Nether Sun 9 spirits. Qingyun said this to make Yao Fong believe that he contacted Xie Qiru. Yao Fong replied. Sister Qiru also said that she wants you to give her face and give me the things inside the 3rd pearl. Qingyun said again. I will give them to you. Yao Fong said. Then give them to me now. Qingyun is somewhat impatient and very excited as he said. No way. Yao Fong's words made Qingyun want to bang his head on the wall. Didn't you say you would give them to me? You said before that after I enter Xian martial realm, you'll give them to me. You can't go back on your words. Qingyun feels very helpless. Qingyun, you need me to help you use those things. If you use them yourself, it will be very dangerous. Wait until you return to Immortal Weapon Palace. Then I will come out and let you use them. Yao Fong said. Yao Fong is an immortal. She cannot come out casually. Only under the protection of Immortal Weapon Palace's special formation can she not be sucked into Immortal Desolate. What exactly is that thing? Qingyun is even more curious. It is something that can make you stronger, but it is also very dangerous to use. Back then, MOG told me to help Xiao Rou use it. I cannot directly give it to Xiao Rou. Yao Fong said, All right, I will return to Immortal Weapon Palace as soon as possible. Qingyun wished that he could return immediately. Morning arrived. The 2 sword islands floating in the sky are very noisy. After resting for a night, Qingyun came out of his room. He walked out of the residence's hall and saw a bewitching purple-red small sun hanging in the sky above the new sword island. This sun is not a real sun. It is just a rather large light ball floating in the sky, releasing intense light rays. It looks just like a sun. What is going on? Qingyun asked in amazement. This thing was made by those Xian Domain people. They left Sword Island last night and made this thing near Sword Island. I don't know what it is. Bao Changsho said. Sword Sect Master also said that the martial arts competition that was originally scheduled for 3 days will now be postponed to 5 days. Miss Yang and Old Mother Yin Yao also returned. They said that they want to increase their strength as much as possible in the next few days. At this time, Jian Shirtan hastily flew over and landed in the courtyard. He said in deep voice, those Xian domain people are using an ancient secret method to forcibly increase Long Shenquang's strength. According to the information sent back by the spies, Long Shenquang can now make the Xian power drum ring 80 times, and it seems like he is still increasing his strength. Bao Changshu and Chu Binyu immediately exclaimed in admiration and became worried. They must have been provoked by me. Qin Yun's expression changed. Forcefully increasing his strength like this, he will surely pay the price. Jian Shitian nodded and said, Indeed, moreover, it is very easy to make him even more manic. Qin Yun also recalled his experience of cultivating a mortal devil body. At that time, he completely fell into the devil Dao. He wanted to kill everyone. Fortunately, Bing Xing and Ling Yuner helped him suppress his evil thoughts and broke free. Jian Linglong looked at Qin Yun with some worry and said, 80 Xian Dao power. This is close to ordinary martial king realm. You youngsters are truly more dreadful than the other. An ordinary martial king with a dark force of 100 echoes was considered a weak martial king. Powerful martial kings have 150 times. It can be clearly seen that there's a great disparity between same-level cultivators. Qin Yun looked at the purple-red light ball that looks like a small sun and said with frown, If this goes on, he can still continue to increase his strength. What kind of secret method is this? Jian Shitian took out a sound transmission conch and received the message just now. His expression became even more grave. Long Shenquang is unceasingly absorbing the purple-red sun's energy. His strength is increasing very quickly. Now, he can hit the Xian power drum 100 times. Bao Changshu, Jian Linglong, and Chu Binyu. These elders all sucked in a mouthful of cold air in shock. Long Shenquang's strength is so strong that it is hard for people to accept. Is it possible for him to break through to late-stage Xian martial realm, or even peak stage? Qin Yun said somewhat anxiously. Impossible. If he breaks through, he won't be able to continue the competition. It will be meaningless. Jian Shitian shook his head and said, In short, we must be very careful from now on. Qin Yun looked at Bao Changshu and said, Sect Master, bring me back to Immortal Weapon Palace. There's still 5 days before the next round of competition. I want to cultivate in these few days. Bao Changshu also knows that Grand Elder Bingxing has been giving Qin Yun pointers. He nodded his head and brought Qin Yun back to Immortal Weapon Palace. Qin Yun now only wants to enter mid-stage Xian martial realm. At that time, his Xian Dao power will be around 100 times. Facing Long Shenquang won't be too strenuous. The reason why he wants to return to Immortal Weapon Palace is because he wants Yao Fong to take out that mysterious thing to make him stronger. On the way back, Qin Yun informed Yao Fong about Long Shenquang's situation. After Yao Fong heard, she said with sneer, This is an ancient secret technique of Devil Dao. It causes great harm to the body. It can even cause people to completely fall into Devil Dao. Of course, if one has a good magic tool to protect one's heart, the harm will only be on the body. Sister Yao Fong, in other words, Long Shenquang won't be able to maintain this state for long? Is it not permanent? Qin Yun asked. It can last for about 2 years. After this power fades away, it will take a few years for him to recover. This secret technique mainly involves sacrificing a great amount of blood to Evil God and then borrowing the power of Evil God. Yao Fong said, This secret technique mainly involves sacrificing a large amount of blood to Evil God and then borrowing his power. I don't know where they obtained the sacrificial altar to be able to contact Evil God. Bao Changshu's speed is very fast. Within half a day, he brought Qin Yun back to Immortal Weapon Palace. On the road, Yao Fong also said that she can help Qin Yun enter mid-stage Xian martial realm. After returning to Immortal Weapon Palace, Qin Yun went straight to Immortal Weapon Palace Hall to see Bingxing. Yao Fong doesn't want to see Bingxing, but she knows that Qin Yun is now facing a very formidable enemy. Therefore, she must join hands with Bingxing to help Qin Yun break through. Qin Yun arrived at Immortal Weapon Palace Hall, but did not see Bingxing beside the Immortal Pool. Qin Yun, you cannot use that thing frequently. If you use it now, you will need to wait for a period of time, It might be several years before you can use it again. Chapter 785. Chapter 785. 9 Absolute Spirit Sealing Needle Chain. Yin looked at the long black box and became excited. That is the mysterious thing inside the third pearl. Back then, Siakiru's mother, Emoji, had placed a few things in the space inside the 9 Sun Divine Soul's 9 pearls. Originally, Siakiru relied on those things to grow up. But later on, Siakiru gave the 9 Sun Divine Spirit to Qinyan. What's inside? Qinyan walked over and asked curiously. He extended his hand to touch it, but was glared at by Yao Fong. Qinyan hurriedly retracted his hand. At this moment, the immortal pool suddenly moved. Bing Xing suddenly flew out from the immortal pool and floated to the ground. Her snow-white dress fluttered in the wind, emitting a white immortal aura, making her look extremely beautiful and refined, holy and noble. When Yao Fong saw Bing Xing, she felt very upset in her heart, because after being cursed, her current appearance is very ugly. She cannot help but feel inferior and lowered her head. When Qin Yun saw Yao Fong's expression, he felt an indescribable heartache. He walked over, patted Yao Fong's shoulder, and said in low voice, "Sister Yao Fong, everything will be fine." Yao Fong's heart is now filled with incomparable hatred for Qin Yun's past life. However, it did not erupt like before. Bing Xing is inside the immortal origin below the immortal pool. She sensed the aura of an expert and promptly came out. After she saw Yao Fong, she frowned. She also recalled that Qin Yun asked her about Yao Fong before. Now, she finally saw Yao Fong. "It's you." Bing Xing suddenly remembered who this Yao Fong is and said in shock, "Bing Xing, you seem to be living a bit better than me." After Yao Fong finished speaking, she glanced at Qin Yun. "It's a lot better than you." Bing Xing let out a long sigh. "I really didn't expect that guy to actually cause you to be cursed by Devil Immortal Great Emperor." Qin Yun promptly shrugged his shoulders with a helpless expression. Yao Fong said, "Let's not talk about this. I want to help this guy become stronger. I need your help. This way it can be more stable. He cultivated a mortal devil body. I am worried that with my own strength, I won't be able to smoothly complete it." Bing Xing looked at the box and asked, "You don't hate him? What's the use of hating him? I am placing all my hopes on him." Yao Fong looked at Qin Yun and let out a long sigh. "How did you get together with him?" Bing Xing asked again. Her own Qin Yun previously said that Yao Fong appeared in his dream. Xiao Rou left him something that year. "I was sealed in that thing and can only come out now." Yao Fong said, "Let's start helping him break through. He will face a guy who controls evil god power. How can I help you?" Bing Xing asked. "This brat told me that you have a sun moon immortal bed here, right?" Yao Fong said. Bing Xing nodded. Soon after, Qin Yun, Bing Xing, and Yao Fong arrived at the bottom of the immortal pool. Qin Yun lay on the sun moon immortal bed, feeling very uneasy. Yao Fong opened the box and saw 9 golden needles as long as chopsticks. Qin Yun promptly sat up, looked at the 9 golden needles, and yelled, "Sister Yao Fong, what are these things?" 9 Absolute Soul Sealing Needle. Bing Xing's eyes flashed with pleasant surprise. Qin Yun's heart cannot help but turn cold. He feels that the 9 golden needles want to stab his body. "Lie down and don't move," Yao Fong shouted. After Qin Yun lied down, he anxiously asked, "Sister Yao Fong, do you want to stab these golden needles into my body?" Yao Fong said with sneer, "With your current level, you can't endure 9 spirit sealing needles. What is the use of these 9 absolute soul sealing needles? Can they really help me increase my strength?" Qin Yun looked at Yao Fong pick up a golden needle and is about to stab him. He inhaled a mouthful of cold air. Bing Xing explained, "It can temporarily seal your soul and strip the connection between your soul and body. This way, we can directly pour energy into your Dao core and let your Dao core break through. If we don't seal your soul and directly proceed, your soul will reject the energy we pour in. We won't be able to continue. Moreover, it will cause you to have many other bad reactions. You will need a few years to adapt or refine. With these 9 absolute soul-sealing needles, we can seal your soul for a short period of time. We can continue to pour energy into your body and then help you refine it. Qin Yun's heart is jumping with fear and trepidation hearing this, because this is going to be done while he is unconscious. The golden needle in Yao Fang's hand suddenly flashed and entered Qin Yun's head. Qin Yun has also entered a very strange state. He is unable to sense any sensation in his body. Now, he could only be with Ling Yun, in his spiritual world. Yuner, do you know what is happening outside? Qin Yun asked. I don't know. I have also been sealed here along with you. What are you afraid of? You have been taken advantage of by Bing Xing so many times anyway. It doesn't matter if you were taken advantage of a few more times. Ling Yuner giggled and said, after Qin Yun's soul and body were separated for 3 days, he finally gradually recovered his perception of his body. He opened his eyes and saw Bing Xing and Yao Fang. Yao Fang took out a golden needle and put it inside the box. Qin Yun feels strange and asked, have I broken through? Yao Fang said, you are now mid-stage Xian martial realm. You just entered Xian martial realm not too long ago, and now you have broken through again and again. I don't know if it will affect you in the future or not. Qin Yun also recovered his perception of his nether sun day. He discovered that the nether sun is releasing black-colored light, and his Xian Dao power has also become stronger. Mid-stage Xian martial realm, Xian Dao core can release a kind of sharp aura that can make Xian Dao power even stronger. If you want to confirm whether or not a person is mid-stage Xian martial realm, you need to use mental power to sense that person's aura. If you feel that your mind is being stabbed, then it means that the person is mid-stage Xian martial realm. I truly broke through. Qin Yun still doesn't dare to believe it because he doesn't know anything about the process. Bing Xing said, Qin Yun, 9 absolute soul-sealing needles can't be used frequently. You should also pay attention in the future. Don't let your soul suffer excessive damage. Yao Fang also warned in a stern tone, just now, your soul completely separated from your body. The connection between soul and body was severed. Therefore, a scar appeared on the connection point between your soul and body. If your soul suffers heavy damage, it will separate from your body and drift everywhere. Qin Yun is flustered listening to this. He imagined his soul uncontrollably drifting everywhere and found it very dreadful. Now he also understands why he can't use 9 absolute soul-sealing needles continuously. If he uses it frequently, it will only cause the scar on the connection point between his soul and body to become bigger and bigger, making it difficult to heal. Rest assured, as long as you recover well, you can use it every once in a while. Yao Fang said, using it every once in a while will allow him to break through very quickly. This is very good. Bing Xing said, 9 absolute soul-sealing needles are also very good hidden weapons, but it is best not to use them carelessly. If you throw away one, the entire set of 9 absolute soul-sealing needles will be wasted. Yao Fang tightly held the box. She is afraid that Qin Yun will snatch it away. She said in cold voice, Qin Yun, if you keep using weapons, I will give them to you when the time comes. I want to go to Sword Immortal Villa. Qin Yun secretly sensed his Xian Dao power and is very satisfied. Sister Yao Fang, you don't need to be too dejected because of the current situation. You will surely get better in the future. Bing Xing saw that Yao Fang is about to leave and comforted her again. Xiao Bing Xing, you must also be patient. Properly recover your peak strength here and then go to Immortal Desolate. Yao Fang nodded and then entered Qin Yun's 9-son Divine Spirit's 3rd pearl. From their conversation, Qin Yun realized that Yao Fang's seniority is very high. Sister Bing Xing, who exactly is Yao Fang? Qin Yun promptly asked. Don't ask too much. Go back and participate in the Sword Martial Assembly. Bing Xing finished speaking, grabbed Qin Yun, and flew out of the Immortal Pool. Qin Yun is a bit depressed in his heart. He left the Immortal Weapon Palace Hall to find Bao Changsho, and then flew towards the new Sword Island. Because Qin Yun cultivates Nether Sun and not Xian Dao Core, It is not possible to see through his strength. Although Bao Changshu took a look, he did not discover anything. On the road, Qin Yun sent sound transmission to Yao Fong inside the Nine Sun Divine Spirit's third pearl. Sister Yao Fong, when I was unconscious, did Sister Bingxing make any other movements? What other movements could there be? The two of us strengthened your nether sun for 3 days in a row and transferred our power to transform it. Yao Fong said, "It's good that you didn't." Qin Yun let out a sigh of relief. Back when he was unconscious, Bingxing kept taking liberties with him. The sky above the 1,000-li radius of the New Sword Island is shrouded by purple-red clouds. The entire area is shrouded by a kind of strong, evil aura. Did all the people in Xian Domain go to Devil Xian Domain to study? How do they know so many evil devil and crooked Dao? Bao Changshu arrived, his expression changed, and said, "Qin Yun, how about you admit defeat and directly forfeit?" "I won't do it." Qin Yun is mid-stage Xian martial realm. He is very confident in his own strength. He will absolutely not admit defeat. Bao Changshu brought Qin Yun to the center of the New Sword Island and entered the Sword Immortal Villa inside the Seven Sword Great Formation. In a courtyard on the southeast side of the Sword Immortal Villa, Chu Binyu, Jin Linglong, and others have grave expression. Seeing Qin Yun return, Jin Rian promptly rushed over and said in low voice, "Brother Yun, something big has happened." "What is it?" Bao Changshu promptly asked. "Long Xinquang has changed into a different person. There is a sharp black horn on his head." Xiao Yuanmei took out a banana, placed it on her forehead, and said, "Just like this." This caused Qin Yun to laugh. "Yuanmei, don't do this in front of Long Xinquang. You will anger him." Jin Linglong said, "That horn seems to be the legendary devil horn." After Long Xinquang grew that horn, his strength increased explosively. It is said that even martial kings cannot defeat him. Jin Rian said, "Brother Yun, Sister Yang said that after you return, you will forfeit." Chapter 786. Totemic horn. The matter of Long Xinquang becoming stronger is known to the people of the Two Sword Islands. Everyone guessed that in order to defeat Qin Yun, Xian Domain people suddenly helped Long Xinquang increase his strength. During the process of Long Xinquang's increase in strength, he created such a huge commotion and filled the sky with evil energy. People feel that it is not a proper increase in strength. That was the power borrowed from the evil god after the sacrifice. That kind of power was terrifying and incomparably evil. After learning that Qin Yun returned from a mortal weapon city, Yang Shuriwei and Old Mother Yun Yao rushed over. Xiao Yun, the current Long Xinquang, is not the previous Long Xinquang, Yang Shuriwei hastily said after seeing Qin Yun. "Then what happened?" asked Qin Yun. "There's a very strong evil spirit in his body." Yang Shuriyu's expression was solemn. "It's extremely likely that it's the legendary evil god." Bao Changshu said in a deep voice, "The heretic god is everywhere. As long as one's heart is set on evil and cultivates the fiendish Tao, one can become a believer of the heretic god." Yang Shuriyu said, "Xiao Yun, don't continue fighting. The evil god soul inside Long Xinquang's body will not wake up so easily. If he wakes up, he will definitely target you, because the evil god also wants the Star Lord inscription spirit in your body. When Long Xinquang sacrificed himself, evil god must have seen his memories. Therefore, evil god knows that Qin Yun has 2 inscription spirits. Because of this, evil god used a very formidable power to send a strand of his soul into Long Xinquang's body. It is all for Long Xinquang to obtain Qin Yun's 2 inscription spirits. Big Sister Yang, I will definitely defeat that guy." Qin Yun clenched his fist. "Evil god possession? Then I shall slay the gods." Yang Shuryu originally wanted to continue persuading Qin Yun, but after hearing his words, she could only give up. "Then you must be careful when the time comes." Yang Shuryu knows that Qin Yun is very strong, but she also knows that Long Xinquang's current condition is very dreadful. After Yang Shuriwei and Old Mother Yun Yao left, Qin Yun returned to his room to rest. On the second day, the sword martial assembly finally began. Early in the morning, Qin Yun received shocking news. Everyone from the Jian family actually forfeited. Even Jian Ruyan gave up on the sword martial assembly's competition. From this, it can be seen how frightening Long Shenquang's current strength is. The Jian family organized the sword martial assembly to flaunt their formidable strength. Now, because of Long Shenquang's strength, Jian family doesn't even care about face and directly made their disciples forfeit the competition. Originally, 24 people were supposed to compete today, but now there were only 8 people left. The disciples of the Jian family, as well as Yang Shiryu and even some disciples of the Long family, all gave up. This immediately shook the 2 sword islands. Everyone knows that Long Shenquang, with his mid-stage Xian martial realm cultivation, has the strength of a martial king. They are very much looking forward to the upcoming competition. But now, the disciples of the Jian family and Yang Shiryu had given up. Qin Yun did not give up. Yao Feng used the 9 absolute spirit sealing needle to help him quickly enter Xian martial realm mid-stage, allowing him to obtain even stronger power. After breaking through, he has the confidence to defeat Long Shenquang, who is possessed by evil god. Qin Yun arrived at the battle stage and saw Long Shenquang. Long Shenquang is wearing luxurious golden dragon embroidered clothes. There's a long black horn on his head, but he does not have any evil chi on him. He looks the same as before, arrogant and haughty. He considers everyone beneath him. Qin Yun also did not find anything dreadful about Long Shenquang. In his eyes, Long Shenquang is the same as before. Xian Domain hunchbacked old man saw Qin Yun and Bao Changshu arrive and said with sinister smile, "You finally appeared. I thought you ran away. Qin Yun, you did not forfeit. You are truly very brave." Xian Domain people seem to be very happy. Jian Shitian is also very worried about Qin Yun. He thought that Qin Yun also forfeited. Long Shenquang injured my shoulder. This debt has not been settled. Why should I forfeit? Qin Yun looked at Long Shenquang and said in cold voice. The hunchbacked old man said to Jian Shitian, "Sword Sect Master, how about this? Let Qin Yun and Long Shenquang fight for first place." Right now, only Qin Yun and our people are still participating in the battle. Xian Domain people actually want to directly enter the final battle. This immediately caused many people to shout loudly. Since you are willing, it is settled. Jian Shitian is also worried that if the battle drags on, it will be disadvantageous to Qin Yun. Who knows what kind of secret technique Long Shenquang will use to increase his strength. Xian Domain people are also worried that Qin Yun will be scared away, so they want to directly enter the final battle. Moreover, only Long Shenquang can defeat Qin Yun. If other Xian Domain geniuses compete with Qin Yun, they can only be killed. Now, the entire battle stage can be used as the battlefield. Although there are several battle stages here, there is no time to tear them down. Qin Yun and Long Shenquang are standing on the battle stage. Suddenly, the bell rang and the competition began. However, Qin Yun and Long Shenquang are not moving. This caused many people to shout in doubt. Qin Yun is not moving because he feels that all around him is filled with restrictive power, making it hard for him to budge. Long Shenquang's eyes also suddenly changed. His eyes are filled with green light and filled with terrifying ruthlessness. Qin Yun is staring at Long Shenquang's eyes. It is as if he is looking at the most evil and most brutal thing in the world. Qin Yun, I will give you one chance. Tonight bring Yang Shiryu to my room. Long Shenquang's voice is hoarse. It is as if there are 2 voices. Qin Yun knows that Long Shenquang is being possessed by evil god. Keep dreaming. Qin Yun immediately became furious and said in deep voice, Qin Yun, Yang Shiryu has rare nether moon sacred body. If you give her me to enjoy, I will bestow you evil god power and let you command the wind and clouds and the spirit desolate. Long Shenquang said with evil smile. Qin Yun firmly clenched his fists. His voice is filled with incomparable anger. You dare to have any ideas about Sister Yang? I don't care if you're an evil god or some kind of ghost. I will kill you. Qin Yun, you are also not a good thing. I can sense the evil devil intent inside your body. Don't pretend. You want to enjoy Yang Shuriwe for yourself, right? Long Shengquang laughed sinisterly. Believe me, you won't get anything from Yang Shuriwe's body. As long as you give her to me, formidable evil god power will be easily obtained. Long Shengquang finished speaking, and black lightning dropped down, bringing along incomparably dreadful, evil aura. Following the appearance of this incomparably evil power, the entire battle stage fiercely trembled, as if it wants to break through the battle stage's barrier. Don't be delusional. Qin Yun is now intimidated by the evil power released by Long Shengquang. But the anger in his heart broke through his fear. Hoo-hoo-hoo. Qin Yun's body overflowed with vibrating airwaves. The evil power binding Qin Yun is also being broken bit by bit. Qin Yun, I gave you a chance. You did not grasp it. Don't blame me. Long Shengquang said with evil smile. Relax. I will seal your soul and let you see with your own eyes how I enjoy Nethermoon's sacred body. Ha ha ha. Long Shengquang and Qin Yun's conversation did not spread outside, because Long Shengquang also does not want too many people to know that Yang Shuriwe has Nethermoon's sacred body. I will tear you to shreds, you bastard. Evil god, right? Sooner or later, I will find your body and thoroughly destroy you. The fury in Qin Yun's heart immediately soared up. The overwhelming righteous martial spirit inside, Nether Sun, also roared in anger and released overwhelming righteous power. Who? The evil binding power released by Long Shengquang was also torn to shreds by Qin Yun. Qin Yun can finally move. Long Shengquang is scared by the overwhelming righteous power that suddenly rushed out of Qin Yun's body and promptly retreated. You're mid-stage, Xian, martial realm? Long Shengquang finds this hard to believe because Qin Yun just entered Xian martial realm, and now he has entered mid-stage. This kind of breakthrough speed, even in Xian domain, it is absolutely impossible to exist. Good. Today I will take your inscription spirits and bury your genius here. No matter how outstanding you are, once you die, you will become dust. Many black scales suddenly appeared on Long Shengquang's body. Evil aura burst out from the dragon scales. They are malevolent and terrifying, overflowing with black, evil energy. Xiao Yun, Yang Shuriwe, is nervously clenching her jade-like fists. She is very worried about Qin Yun. Now everyone can see that Long Shengquang's condition is not normal. However, Xian domain people are incomparably happy. They also know that evil god soul is inside Long Shengquang's body. It can be said that Long Shengquang is the person chosen by evil god. What is even more dreadful is that the horn on Long Shengquang's head suddenly became longer and bigger. Moreover, many runes appeared on it. It is evil spirit totem. A Jian family inscription master's eyes are like torches, looking at the large horn shooting out black lightning. He shouted in alarm. And it is Dao totem level. What exactly is going on with this Long Shengquang? He cultivated evil spirit totem? Even the Dao inscription masters of famous righteous sects are incomparably envious of this kind of innate evil Dao totem. The sudden transformation of Long Shengquang caused all the spectators to boil with excitement and loudly shout. What they don't know is that Long Shengquang has already transformed into evil god's incarnation. Qin Yun unceasingly attacked with Extinction Dragon Palm from the distance, but they were all blocked by the trembling black dragon scales. Qin Yun, accept your death. Long Shengquang's voice is incomparably hoarse. The large horn on his head fiercely shot out a black light beam that pierced through Qin Yun's chest in a flash. Qin Yun screamed in pain and was sent flying. Long Shengquang promptly rushed over, raised his hand and vigorously chopped down on Qin Yun's throat. Qin Yun, who was sent flying, fiercely twisted his body to avoid the large black claw. At the same time, One of his arms let out a heavenly lion's angry roar and condensed a heavenly lion claw, flickering with cold light. Swoosh! Qin Yun's claw swept over and left a few scratch marks on Long Shenquang's black scales. After Qin Yun unleashed Heavenly Lion Fighting Dragon Claw, it is no longer an illusory lion claw. It looks like a real weapon, firm and sharp. Seeing Qin Yun unleashing the lion claw, everyone thought that it is a weapon or something. Later on they heard that it is a heavenly lion totem martial art. This is a totem that has been lost for a long time, and people who can learn heavenly lion totem martial art from it are very few. Chapter 787. Evil God Power. The scales on Long Shenquang's body have been torn apart and quickly healed. It is very difficult to destroy them. Qin Yun's lion claw caused many people to jump in fright. Those who had seen him use the Heavenly Lion Fighting Dragon Claw knew that Qin Yun's Heavenly Lion Fighting Dragon Claw had evolved. Previously, his Heavenly Lion Fighting Dragon Claw looked like it was condensed from energy, but now it looks like a real weapon. The claw tip is flickering with sharp cold light. Long Shenquang looked at Qin Yun's Heavenly Lion Fighting Dragon Claw and can't help but lick his lips. Then he laughed nastily and jumped up. The devil horn on his head trembled and released many red light rings. One light ring is several tens of meters wide. When it landed on the ground, it enveloped Qin Yun. Then many light rings quickly shrank, wanting to imprison Qin Yun. Qin Yun did not sit still and wait for death. He promptly jumped up. Don't even think of escaping. Long Shenquang howled in laughter and blasted a few punches from the sky. The fist energy transformed into evil devil head that roared and enveloped Qin Yun. Qin Yun randomly brandished Heavenly Lion Fighting Dragon Claw, but he could not break the fist energy. Boom boom. Qin Yun was smashed to the ground. The few small battle stages inside the battle stage were also razed to the ground by the fist energy. Long Shenquang's current strength is the strongest. He is like a martial king. Although Qin Yun has broken through, compared to Long Shenquang, who is possessed by evil god, there is still a big gap. Restrain. Long Shenquang sneered. After the light rings became small, they bound Qin Yun. Qin Yun burst into roar, unleashed earthquake divine ability power, and released the vibration through his body. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Earthquake power caused the battle stage to fiercely shake up and down. Hoo-hoo. Qin Yun's body shook and burst out with red light. The red light rings binding him also shattered. Long Shenquang, who is in the sky, is also amazed by Qin Yun's power. Bang! Qin Yun pointed two fingers at Long Shenquang and shot out piercing mountain splitting earth finger. Black finger power arrived in a flash. Long Shenquang's body overflowed with black gas and formed an energy barrier. Bang! However, Qin Yun's piercing mountain splitting earth finger still pierced through Long Shenquang's energy barrier and landed on his black scales, causing them to explode and blood to splash out. Long Shenquang was beaten until he bled. This caused a group of spectators to cry out in alarm. You actually forced me to this extent. Long Shenquang furiously roared. His injuries are quickly healing. Just as he finished speaking, Qin Yun again used piercing mountain splitting earth finger. The verdant sound of thunder shook the air. Long Shenquang became furious. Black gas spewed out from his body. In the blink of an eye, Long Shenquang underwent another transformation. His face is full of scales. His pair of green eyes also protruded out. His tongue turned black and very long. Is this your ugly appearance? Qin Yun finished speaking and jumped up, dodging Long Shenquang's black evil power. You insulted me. You will not have a good death. Long Shenquang, who is like a demon, shouted. His voice can cause people's hair to stand on end. Spectators are looking at Long Shenquang with face filled with fear. Even some people who are knowledgeable about devil cultivators don't know what kind of devil technique Long Shenquang cultivated to become so formidable. Long Shenquang flashed in a flash and arrived behind Qin Yun, then heavily attacked with his palm. Qin Yun dodged and attacked with Extinction Dragon 7 palms. His other hand used piercing mountain-splitting earth finger. Palm power and finger power landed on Long Shenquang's body one after another. A whistling sound of energy could be heard. Long Shenquang was forced to retreat more than 10 meters. The scales on his body only emitted black gas. This guy's defense has become even stronger. Qin Yun is still overwhelmed with shock in his heart before he was able to beat Long Shenquang until he bled. But now he is unable to break through Long Shenquang's defense. Qin Yun released Heavenly Lion Fighting Dragon Claw, flew over, and repeatedly waved his claws, hitting Long Shenquang's body, issuing dang 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 crisp sound. Long Shenquang's black scales have become even more solid. Qin Yun, don't fight, quickly give up. Jian Shitian, who is in the sky, also shouted. Now Long Shenquang has become so powerful that it is hard to shake him. He is not defeated by Qin Yun. Qin Yun must eliminate Evil God possessed Long Shenquang. Otherwise, if Evil God becomes stronger, it will be a great threat to Qin Yun and Yang Shuriwei. Long Shenquang burst into wild laughter. Qin Yun, you are dead today. Xian Domain and Long family people saw a Long Shenquang suddenly become so powerful. They are pleasantly surprised and at the same time worried. They are worried that Long Shenquang will not be controlled. Long Shenquang has a strand of Evil God's soul inside his body. That strand of soul contains energy that can make Long Shenquang extremely powerful. Long Shenquang suddenly spat out a bewitching red light from his mouth while laughing loudly. The red light flashed in a flash. It is very fast. Even if Qin Yun dodged, he was still hit. Boom! After Qin Yun was hit, he immediately shot out a large amount of blood-red energy mist and light rays. The shaking sound seems as if it wants to tear apart the heaven and earth. The battle stage immediately became enveloped in red light, filled with dense, evil aura. Xiao Yun, Yang Shuriwei tightly clenched her jade like fists. Long Shenquang's strength has already surpassed common sense. Bao Changshuo's expression became grave. We must make Qin Yun give up quickly. Qin Yun was hit by Long Shenquang once, and his skin and muscles split open. He fell on the ground and let out a low groan in pain. Boom, boom, boom. Long Shenquang, who is in the sky, the black devil horn on his head unceasingly shot out red light rays, locked onto Qin Yun, and frantically attacked. Qin Yun almost gave up all hope at this moment. However, Ling Yuner hastily released Nether Sun's devouring power to devour the evil god power. She can only devour a part of it. Most of it still landed on Qin Yun's body. Qin Yun also has overwhelming righteous martial spirit. Otherwise, he would have already lost himself after absorbing so much evil god power. A strand of evil god soul is actually so dreadful. Qin Yun is lying on the ground, unable to budge. His body is unceasingly attacked by Long Shenquang. The battle stage is enveloped by black and red evil aura. Long Shenquang is floating in the sky. His hands are clasped behind his back. The devil horn on his head is unceasingly shooting out evil god power and hitting the ground. Spectators are watching in endless fear. They are dumbstruck. Now the whole stage is shaking unceasingly with boom, boom, boom sound. People's ears are numb listening to it. Everyone can see how dreadful Long Shenquang's power is. But Qin Yun is still not completely destroyed. Qin Yun's endurance is also shocking. He can actually endure so many attacks. Even the evil god inside Long Shenquang's body finds this inconceivable. Finally, Long Shenquang stopped attacking. The evil aura floating on the battle stage rushed up to the sky and was absorbed by Long Shenquang again. Qin Yun is lying on the ground. His body is covered with cuts and bruises. He is actually slowly crawling up. But just as he crawled up, he was sent flying by Long Shenquang's powerful kick. Long Shenquang promptly rushed over, grabbed Qin Yun, who was on the ground, and lifted him up. Qin Yun's throat is being vigorously grabbed. He is unable to speak. You want to concede, right? Long Shenquang laughed sinisterly. Qin Yun never thought of conceding. If he does not kill Long Shenquang today, not long from now, Long Shenquang will become very dreadful. At that time, nobody will be able to stop him. Suddenly, Long Shenquang sensed the nether sun inside Qin Yun's body. His face is filled with shock and excitement. No wonder you can resist so many of my attacks. It is because of this, Long Shenquang excitedly said. Then he ferociously stabbed his hand into Qin Yun's abdomen, grabbed Qin Yun's nether sun, and did not take it out. Seeing this scene, Bao Changshu immediately shouted, "He wants to take the Xian Dao core, quickly stop him." Long Shenquang also knows that if he takes out the nether sun, he will not be able to leave today, so he can only grab it like this. Xian Domain old man said in cold voice. He still has not taken it out, he is just grabbing it. Yang Shuriwei is very anxious. She is tightly holding Xiao Yuemei's hand. Xiao Yuemei is also very distressed looking at this. She only wants to rush over and save Qin Yun. After long, Sheng Kuang grabbed Qin Yun's nether sun. Qin Yun heard Ling Yun'er's painful scream. Dao spirit? Very good, I always wanted this kind of thing. Now it is mine? Long Shenquang's coarse and evil voice resounded in Qin Yun's mind. Xiao Yun, don't let him take me away. I don't want to leave you. Ling Yun'er burst into tears in pain. I will always be your good friend. Even if I die, I won't follow him. Qin Yun is also furiously yelling in his heart. Yun'er, Yun'er, I will not let him take you away. Long Shenquang's voice sinisterly laughed in Qin Yun's illusory space. Little Dao spirit, you are mine, don't struggle. After you follow me, you will immediately forget about this insignificant human. Only I, this evil god, is worthy of you. Ling Yun'er is crying in grief and anger. Xiao Yun, don't let me leave you. I will always be yours. I don't want to follow this bastard. After Qin Yun's nether sun was grabbed, it was suppressed by Long Shenquang's formidable evil god power. Even Ling Yun'er is under his control. Hearing Ling Yun'er's sad weeping, Qin Yun is incomparably furious in his heart. Ling Yun'er is afraid. He is also afraid. Ling Yun'er is sad. He is also sad. Now he can very deeply feel the grief and anger in Ling Yun'er's heart. He can also feel Ling Yun'er's affection towards him. He also doesn't know why Ling Yun'er, this Dao spirit who suddenly appeared, has such deep affection for him. Yun'er, no one can take you away. Qin Yun looked at Ling Yun'er, this petite and beautiful fairy. Her body is fading bit by bit, and suddenly roared. He borrowed the power of Heavenly Lion Beast Spirit. Back then he fused with Heavenly Lion Beast Spirit and used it as Bone Spirit. He can borrow the power of Heavenly Lion Beast Spirit. He borrowed it once before, but it has been a few years, and his cultivation has increased by a lot. Now he can borrow it again. Heavenly Lion Beast Spirit is a soul left behind by Heavenly Lion Old Ancestor. Its power is not weaker than evil gods, because Heavenly Lion Old Ancestor is a divine beast that can enter divine desolate. Go to hell, evil god. Qin Yun's Heavenly Lion Fighting Dragon Claw appeared in a flash and clawed at Long Shenquang. Long Shenquang's formidable body was torn into several pieces by the claw. Roar! Qin Yun roared towards Long Shenquang's pieces. Is indeed Heavenly Lion's heavenly roar. Sound wave accompanied Qin Yun's earthquake divine ability power and scattered the evil god power, rushing towards Long Shenquang's body. Long Shenquang and evil god are extremely frightened. They did not expect Qin Yun to suddenly have this kind of power. Acknowledge. Long Shenquang just shouted one word when Qin Yun sent out a palm attack. Heavenly Lion's power, accompanied by Extinction Dragon Palm. Heavenly Lion Extinction Dragon Palm. Moreover, it is 7 palm attacks in succession. Boom! 7 palm attacks condensed into one palm attack. Palm power transformed into Heavenly Lion head and landed on Long Shenquang's body. Evil god's horse and angry wail spread out, causing people to feel endless fear. Long Shenquang's body has been torn to shreds, but the devil horn is still there. Chapter 788. Except the prize Long Shenquang's corpse scattered on the ground. Qin Yun released black flame, and completely burned it to ashes. Not long ago, the people of the Xian domain and the Long family were very happy. However, just as they are feeling happy, this kind of great change occurred. Long Xinquang has been killed by Qin Yun until only dust remains. Not only Xian domain people, even the several tens of thousands of spectators are shocked by Qin Yun's sudden counterattack. After Jian Linglong, Yang Shuriwei and the others were pleasantly surprised. They also felt relieved. Especially Yang Shiryu and Xiao Xianqin. They suspected that Qin Yun had awakened his memories. They did not wish for Qin Yun to awaken his memories because it would be detrimental to his growth. Qin Yun, do you know what you have done? You killed Long Xinquang, the most outstanding young genius of our Xian domain dragon sect. That hunchbacked old man from Xian domain roared in grief and anger. Isn't that normal? Either I kill him or he kills me. Other than killing him, I have no other choice. Qin Yun said with a sneer. This kind of martial arts competition was just that cruel. Only those who survived were geniuses. The Xian domain and Long family's people are incomparably furious. They want to do something big here, too. But this is Jian family's territory. There are also 7 immortal swords stabbed into the ground. If they dare to cause trouble here, no matter how many half-immortals there are, they will all die here. Long Xinquang is dead. Xian domain and Long family are completely defeated. Although the winner was not a disciple of the Jian family, it still made the Jian family feel a lot more balanced. As long as it wasn't someone from the Long family, the Jian family wouldn't lose. Furthermore, Qin Yun is a disciple of Immortal Weapon City. Furthermore, Immortal Weapon City is indebted to Qin Yun. Jian Shitian is very happy to see Qin Yun win. Long family and Xian domain's people all have gloomy expression. Looking at the flying dust on the battle stage, they all feel extremely pained. To make Long Xinquang stronger, they paid a great price and offered sacrifices. However, Long Xinquang still lost. Long Xinquang was possessed by evil god. His strength is comparable to Martial King, but he was still killed by Qin Yun. Now, everyone is afraid of Qin Yun's true strength. Ling Yun whimpered in Qin Yun's illusory space. She thought that she was finished. She thought that she was going to leave Qin Yun completely. Now she can still be together with Qin Yun. She is endlessly happy. Little Yun, you have to be with me forever. I don't want to leave you. The usually mischievous Ling Yun is now crying like a child. Great beauty, Yuner. You are crying until you look like a cat. Qin Yun laughed in his heart and then walked down the stage. He had just borrowed the power of the heavenly lion beast soul, but before he could finish using it, he had suppressed a portion of it. He doesn't know whether or not he can continue. Qin Yun's abdomen was pierced through just now. It is still slowly healing. Bao Changsho, Jian Shitian, and the other half-immortals are protecting Qin Yun. They are worried that he will be killed by Long family and Xian domain people. Yun, Jian sword, Jian Yun has Tian, Long one. Jian Long, Yun has Long, Tian Long of sword shined, Yun Long, Yang, He Jian, Yun Long of Yun Long the light. Yang Shuriwei brought Qin Yun along with Jian Linglong and Bao Changsho, promptly left the battle stage and returned to their residence. In a safe secret room, Yang Shuriwei is healing Qin Yun alone. Yang Shuriwei looked at the big hole in Qin Yun's abdomen and said with heartache, "Your nether son was almost taken out. It was really dangerous." "Big sister Yang, do you have Nethermoon's sacred body?" Qin Yun asked. "Xiao Yun, how did you know?" "Even you and Bing Xing don't know I have Nethermoon's sacred body." Yang Shuriwei's lily-white hand gently caressed Qin Yun's abdomen and released a kind of silver-white moonlight to heal the wound. Qin Yun sensed the warm energy from Yang Shuriwei's lily-white hand and felt warm in his heart. "Xiao Yun, if you awaken your memories, you must never let Xianqin and Bing Xing know." Yang Shuriwei faintly sighed. "It seems like they are unable to accept you who have awakened your memories." "I have not awakened my memories. This is what Long Xinquang said. That guy is possessed by evil god. He said you have Nethermoon's sacred body. He also said He said many unpleasant things. Qin Yun thought about this matter and became very angry. So it turns out that you were unable to persevere because you wanted to get rid of that guy. Are you worried that he would harm me? After Yang Shuriwe heard this, her beautiful eyes flickered with tenderness, and she said with gentle smile. Qin Yun nodded his head. That guy seems to want to devour you. He is too hateful. Yang Shuriwe's heart warmed up. She said with gentle smile. Xiao Yun, thank you. Big sister Yang, how are you going to thank me? Qin Yun giggled and said. Yang Shuriwe bit her red lips flirtatiously, then moved her head closer and kissed Qin Yun. Qin Yun was just joking. He did not expect that Yang Shuriwe would actually thank him like this. This sudden affectionate kiss caused his heartbeat to suddenly stop for a moment and then started beating very quickly again. Quickly hug her. Ling Yun also excitedly shouted. This is her first time. Hearing Ling Yun shout, Qin Yun suddenly woke up with a start. He realized that this is not a dream. He promptly hugged Yang Shuriwe, and then both of them immersed themselves in the accumulated yearning of past life and current life. After an unknown period of time, Yang Shuriwe gently pushed Qin Yun away. Her jade-like face is slightly red, and she said in soft voice, Xiao Yun, don't talk nonsense about this matter. I heard that you tell Yuan everything. Don't tell her about this matter. Oh, Qin Yun laughed, then extended his hand and gently caressed Yang Shuriwe's absolutely beautiful face. Tell me honestly, you and Bing Xing, have you ever kissed? Yang Shuriwe leaned on Qin Yun's bosom and said in soft anger. This. She took the initiative. Soon after, Qin Yun told Yang Shuriwe about how Bing Xing took advantage of him. Humph, you owed us in your past life. You can't run away in this life. Yang Shuriwe gently pinched Qin Yun's arm. Qin Yun doesn't know what happened in his past life. He only knows that in this life, he must protect his beloved woman. Big sister Yang, was I very romantic in my previous life? Qin Yun said with a smile. In your previous life, you were not romantic at all. You were a very annoying swindler. You cheated on our feelings, cheated on our treasures, and tricked us into doing all kinds of hard work for you. Damn it. Yang Shuriwe gently patted Qin Yun's chest. Qin Yun really wanted to scold his previous life for not knowing how to be precious. Xiao Yun, I'm going back. I've awakened my memories and my soul is getting stronger and stronger. I'm the same as Yuan and the others. Every once in a while, I have to suppress my soul so that it won't be too strong and leave my body. Yang Shuriwe left Qin Yun's embrace and looked at the injury on Qin Yun's abdomen. She felt a lot more at ease. And I'll go to Demon Moon Island to see you guys when I have time. Qin Yun caressed Yang Shuriwe's face and said with a smile. Yang Shuriwe kissed Qin Yun again and stood up. After you break through, remember to help me refine a good Xian tool. How can a Xian tool do? I want to help Big Sister Yang refine a Dao tool. Qin Yun said with a smile. Really? You can refine Dao tools now? Yang Shuriwe doesn't dare to believe it. Big Sister Yang, I have Dao Lord Inscription Spirit, Qin Yun said with a mysterious smile. After Yang Shuriwe heard this, she is also amazed and also very happy. She gently caressed Qin Yun's handsome face and said, Xiao Yun, I'm not by your side. You must take good care of yourself. I don't want to lose you again. In the future, I will help Big Sister Yang refine immortal and sacred tools, Qin Yun said with smile. Yang Shuriwe very happily laughed and then walked out of the secret room. After she left, her expression also became calm. She looks like a cold jade beauty, like an ice-cold fairy under the moon. Brother, are you feeling better? Xiao Yume promptly ran over and anxiously asked. Much better. Qin Yun pinched Xiao Yume's face with a smile. Qin Yun is fine. Bao Changsho, Chu Binyu, and the others also let out a long sigh of relief. They saw a big hole in Qin Yun's abdomen, and his Xian Dao core was grabbed. They were worried that the Xian Dao core would be seriously damaged. Now it seems like Qin Yun's recovery is very good. Old Mother Yun Yao said, We and Shuriwe have matters to attend to. We will return first. Our Demon Moon Island also does not plan to participate in the Martial King competition. Hu Jingxian, Zi Qingsheng, Shui Tianzi, and Xiao Xianqin are all here. Xiao Xianqin also needs to suppress the growth of her soul, so she also returned with Yang Shuriwei. Hu Jingxian's strength is also unfathomable. Her main business is to frequently run business outside, so she did not follow them. Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi also agreed to follow Qin Yun and assist him in refining tools, so they also did not return. Bao Changshuo and Qin Yun's group sent off old Mother Yun Yao and the others, and then returned to the reception hall. Jian Rian said with some worry, "Sect Master, do you think Xiando main side will play dirty?" Bao Changshuo shook his head and said, "It's hard to say. We must guard against them." Xiao Yuanmei said with smile, "Isn't the situation inside Xiando main very bad? Wait until our strength outside is more or less condensed. We will slaughter our way into Xian domain and occupy a place inside." Chu Binyu said, "We already sent people to investigate the situation, but they still haven't returned." Hu Jingxian said with some worry, "The people we sent are all half-immortals. I hope they return safely." Within Spirit Desolate, the strongest are half-immortals. However, Xian domain's people have special cultivation techniques, as well as all kinds of other techniques. Therefore, within the same level, their strength is very strong. It can be seen from Xian domain disciples like Long Shenquan. Jian Shitian suddenly arrived in the evening. Nobody knows what he wants to do. Sword Sect Master, what is so important that you can't talk about it tomorrow? After Bao Changshuo opened the door, he saw Jian Shitian and said with chuckle, "How is Qin Yun's recovery? If he has not recovered, we can help heal him." Jian Shitian arrived in the reception hall and saw Qin Yun sitting there in amazement. "I have recovered very well," Qin Yun said with smile to Jian Shitian. "Sword Sect Master, where is Jian Nanhu? He should also be recovering very well." "Not bad. He found out that you defeated Long Shenquan and said that he will give you that sword as a gift," Jian Shitian said with chuckle. "That sword is also with Xiao Xianqin. Qin Yun plans to find her again when he has time and remodel it." Jian Shitian said, "Qin Yun, since you have recovered very well, accept our reward. There is no time to lose. Let's begin now." You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.